if you're watching this episode of the podcast on YouTube, just want to remind you we live stream exclusively for first members on our website Monday evenings. If you'd like a 30-day free trial, just click the link below in the description for more information.
You turned the wrong
I turned the wrong way.
He did not make it.
That's a first. He's never missed the beginning of a podcast.
I think this is like
Mr.
a new
Perfect
record.
Attendance. Yeah.
I'm actually,
gone.
I don't even know what to do because usually I'm like, hey.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome.
Welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast, which is officially Gusless. We have Gus's empty chair,
Gavin.
Gusarilla. Barbara.
Bernie, and Gus's empty chair.
And did he tell you the sponsors?
Oh, yeah, let me do it like Gus, because he's not here.
Okay.
I need to read what's at the top of the screen right now. Want to thank for sponsoring the podcast.
He's a little more enthusiastic than that.
No, it's like, I feel like I have to, like, overplay it, because he just, like, stops everything dead in its tracks whenever he does now.
I feel like we shouldn't like be doing this right now.
Well,
Like,
we
this
should
is
have
wrong.
replaced him because he's not here. He's never missed the beginning. So that means he's going to miss the entire
I
thing.
think that's more than enough reason to start the podcast. What are we going to do? We're going to delay everyone who's watching at home all over the world because Gus can't get off a plane in time?
I'm not saying we should have delayed. We should have just replaced him with someone who's here.
We have a lot of people who work in the company.
That's a good point. I mean, if he's going to be late, I guess if he's not here for a while, we can just replace him with somebody else.
How
Yeah,
long do
like
we
a-
wait until we fill the chair?
I don't know. Now that he's not here, it's, that ship is sailed
Well, why
for
don't
me.
we just replace him with something like equally as like energetic and charismatic, like a cardboard box or something of that sort?
Cardboard boxes like people, though. So they like to be around
Sure.
people and be opened. Gus is not that way.
Could I have the
Opening.
bottle opener? I probably shouldn't be
He told us
drinking.
a story this weekend about like using a kiosk at where was he that he used a kiosk that he was so happy and he didn't have to talk to anybody
You sit down at an iPad and you order, and,
Yeah.
and then food comes, and then you
Oh.
pay on the iPad.
and you
that,
don't have to interface with a person.
that sounds great, though.
That sounds terrible to me.
How is that terrible? How's that more terrible than just talking to a human?
I traveled with Gavin this weekend, and at one point we don't sit next to each other on planes. We don't even bother.
No.
But occasionally we accidentally get seated near one another.
How many times does that happen accidentally?
Just like
How about on this one?
it usually happens. I don't know why. I select the exit row every time.
Mm-hmm.
Gavin's got way more miles than me. He's got better status on the airline for about another week, so he gets upgraded more than I do. But he also likes the bulkhead row, which I can't stand.
The one with like no seat in front of you, so you
Right.
have nothing to put your bag under.
That's
I
that's
just
how
like
I feel.
Plane lands straight off. I like it.
Because you're close to the front of the plane.
You don't have to stand there and wait.
Oh, we'll
I
go
just
for
like the
class.
leg room. I don't care about everyone's so obsessed with the fucking 3 minutes it takes to get off the plane. It's crazy. Like as soon as the plane pulls up to the gate, everybody's up in the aisle and just waiting. It's like you're
All
just
right,
standing
well,
there like this with your head,
From now on,
Yep.
then, every time a plane lands, just sit on the plane for 20 minutes.
You know what I used to do? I used to wait until everyone else got off the plane and then get off.
That's weird.
If
I
you're
used
in
to
like
do that.
the window seat.
But I still do that. Like people freak out when they get to your row and you don't get up. They go, "Are you getting up?" And you're like, "No, I'm not getting up." I just wait and let everyone go. And when it gets like 4 rows back from me, it's enough of a gap that I can just get up, put my stuff together.
Oh, it's because you travel now. You used to be a very easy person to travel with.
I mean,
now
what?
you travel with so many gubs, and all your gubs are splayed out on the flight, and you've got to repack all your gubs back in.
You don't have a lot of gubs.
He has gubs now.
What
Have
kind
you
of
traveled with him?
gubs?
He's
No,
got a
what kind of gubs do you
drone.
have?
He's
I
got
do.
a load
Oh,
of
'cause
camera
you're
bits.
vlogging.
He's a
Yeah.
vlogger now.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I remember when we went.
Come with like a kit.
We went
now.
ziplining, and you had like a fucking car full of gubs with
It's
you.
it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's like on this trip we went. It was an overnight trip. All I packed was like a pair of underwear and a shirt, like tucked in with my camera, because all my other carry-on baggage is taken up by other stuff.
That's a good
camera
point.
and
You had
gubs
2
take
bags.
over.
One was camera, and one was drone.
Yeah.
And I assume you
Yeah.
had clothes and a toothbrush.
Toothbrush tucked away, and that was it. You know, I think I can go one day without deodorant. I'm normally okay.
One day without deodorant.
Yeah, is that okay?
I just put it on every day.
You keep looking at his chair. Are you
Well,
obsessed with the
it's
fact
so
that he's
weird
not
that
here?
he's not here. Why don't you call him?
You want to call him?
Yeah.
I'll call him.
Well, where is he? Is he like
So-
on the way here?
There's
You know, Gus
storms.
likes to take the day off after he travels. That's one thing that I was
That's
giving
true.
grief about. Hold on, I gotta make sure. I'm always worried when I dial on camera that I'm gonna like accidentally reveal his phone number.
I used to worry that, you know, when you dial and it goes beep, boop, boop, like, can you tell a phone number from the tone of the beeps?
Sure.
So when you just press someone's name and it goes beep, boop, 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 boop.
I think theoretically you could just like play that into those old style phones.
Although it doesn't do that
It
anymore,
doesn't
does
do that on the iPhone.
When did they take that out of phones?
I
a
feel
long
like if
time ago.
I'm not gonna do it right now, but I feel like if I press buttons on my phone.
So you're just going to make some erratic thumb movements to mask what you're actually doing?
Yeah, I'm like, look at this. I'm dialing Gus. No, I just hit his contact. I got
I'll
him
go
in the thing.
beep boop boop bop at the same time.
All right.
patiently
Bernie
waiting
is
now.
currently calling Gustavo Cirola on the
He's not going to
telephone.
answer because it's Gus. Hey, it's Bernie. Where are you?
What do you mean? I'm at the podcast where I'm supposed to be. Where are you?
We started the podcast and you're just sitting there. Where are you?
Today's the day, man.
Where the fuck
Oh, is that today?
Oh, what the fuck?
What day is today?
it's the 26th?
Grab that trophy. Come on.
Oh shit.
Oh, God!
Hello, welcome to the Gus Cirola. Oh, damn it. How's it going, guys?
Not bad.
No.
Got the wrong one.
Yeah, you got the right one now. You're good.
Sorry, I brought this for you.
Thank you.
This one doesn't.
Welcome to
have
the
beer.
podcast. I'm Gus.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Barbara.
And I'm Gus's empty chair.
And I'm Gus.
Wow.
Welcome.
So shiny.
It
It's
is
it's
so
brand new
shiny
set.
and new.
Want one of those?
After a billion years,
one?
if you're
No, that's all we got.
listening
We got a
to
great
the
set. We got
audio
terrible beer.
version of this podcast, you're really not going to understand what the hell just happened. But we are now on the official, brand spanking new Rooster Teeth podcast set.
Brand spanking new. It's only been sitting over there for about 3 months. It's only been just off
It's
camera.
actually been 3 months,
It's
though,
been
right?
about 3 months, and it's been sitting over there.
I'm
So-
so much closer to Gavin now on
You
this
all
set.
wanted that,
yeah.
you fuckers. I do not want to hear any complaints about how
Can
close
we-
you
Look
guys
at
are.
we're
I
all,
brought
we can,
this
look at I
pillow.
can, Gavin's like right there. Gus, I feel like I can talk to you. You're like right on top of me. It's where I always wanted you.
Yeah.
Right
Go
on
back to
top
the
of
old
me.
couch though.
It
'cause
was-
I'm making myself a drink.
It's pretty
Now
close.
you can push me away
can
easily
touch you more.
when I make a pun.
It was Newark is the airport with all the kiosks and the look at you and the iPads. You don't have to talk to anybody. It's not only restaurants, but it was also like the little stores to buy like a bottle of water, everything. Didn't have to talk
There's
to anybody.
actually a couple restaurants that have that.
They gave me my own
it's
mic
like,
now so that I can talk when I make a drink. So.
Oh, wow.
Oh god.
So I can
Nice.
interrupt Barbara when I'm when I'm not. sitting
Thank
there.
God.
What are you making
I was
over there?
gonna miss
I'm
that.
gonna give myself a nice little maker's mark on the rocks.
I want one.
Would you like a maker's mark?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Can stop
You,
saying
you
it.
don't want to drink the Lone Star?
Not really.
I was
I like
sitting
we had
here-
good beer on the
we-
other set, and I
we-
kicked it all into oblivion.
I just made a joke. I was like, right before we came on, I was like, oh, you're right. I'm sure we got this brand new, beautiful scent. We should probably still have shitty Lone Star in the fridge, right? I'm thinking, surely we got some beer. Nope, we got shitty Lone
Now
Star
we
in the
have
fridge.
an actual bar on this set, which I think is my favorite feature. Mm-hmm. And like
I lost
everything
that.
is updated
Got
and
some cheers,
beautiful. And Bernie's breaking shit like normal.
I like that we have a mic for someone who's.
I like
just,
I like the new features of the set. One of the things I want to talk about is this thing here. This is a
What about this
little
thing here?
lighted little gobo here. So our we don't have the big Warner Brothers like Merv Griffin style like big Rooster Teeth logo here.
I want to keep that. I want to take that home.
Yeah, this was a long process. Of course, this set was designed by Marcus Laporte, just like everything else that we do.
So some people noticed. So I think the process started probably 6 months ago.
It started immediately after the Off Topic.
Well,
We thought we were
podcast.
gonna launch it like what in May?
Yeah, and I think some people noticed because when work on this one started, the old podcast set was taken off of this riser, so we were all lower to the ground. So some people complained that we looked darker,
Gavin.
and that the Xbox sign behind the old podcast set was higher because the platform was gone. We were sitting on the floor.
people notice that.
People pointed that out right away.
Wow,
And-
I did not even notice.
It might
that.
be easier to notice in like best of compilations where it's you're cutting back and forth between different ones, then suddenly we're like, boop, get
Yeah.
out of my shot, woman.
so much easier to get
You know,
your
I
shot.
had a thing that turned out to be highly anticlimactic, I thought.
What's that?
Which is, I set up earlier today, we recorded our last ever thing on the Rooster Teeth podcast set, the one we just left, and they were going to be breaking it down and putting this set up. And I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool moment. So I thought, I'm going to grab time-lapse of that. And I asked the
For
crew, I
your
said,
vlog.
how long is it going to take? And they said about 60 minutes to break it down and put the new one in. And I was like, great. Set my time-lapse for 60 minutes. It only took him 45 minutes, which is great. But here's basically the way that works as a time-lapse is the old set, they're breaking it down piece by piece, goes, like 30 minutes, and then it's all finally gone, and then the new one just rolls in. It was like, oh, that was
funny, though.
It was pretty anticlimactic.
My
just
mic
shows how much
keeps
better it is.
escaping me. Look at this.
Where's it going?
It's going over there.
Anywhere but there.
See you later.
You could
Oh,
probably-
Barbara's so happy about that because she was missing the fact that our old microphone arms, they would take off
Well,
on
if you like push it down enough, it would just spring back up, and that was so funny every time.
Every time.
Every
Without fail.
time.
Well, shitty stuff is funny.
Barbara,
Cheers.
cheers. Podcast. Look, I can cheers you, Gavin. We're so close. Chink.
Could I cheers,
I'm
Gus?
so far away.
Only if you make that noise.
Gotta make
That's the only
noises.
way you can do it.
So, I made someone really mad the other day.
Really? Was it me? Because you took us to the world's worst event ever?
Wow,
awesome.
straight into it.
Oh my god, I thought we weren't going to talk about
It's
that.
a great event. I made someone really mad. I went to get a rental car, and I used this service called Silver Car. I've talked about it on the podcast before. Where
Silver car?
Yeah, all they do is they just rent Audi A4. So it's like you don't pick your car. They just rent. All they have is one kind of car. So the guy comes by. They pick you up at the airport and they take you to the place to get your car. He comes by and picks me up, and he's driving. He's like, he looks at me, he goes, "You look really familiar. Have I picked you up before?" And I was like, "Yeah, probably. You know, I rent all the time anytime I'm in LA." He's like, "Oh yeah, maybe that's it. And then so we're driving a little bit. Then he looks at me and he goes, "Wait a minute, aren't you Gus from Rooster Teeth?" I was like, "Yeah,
there it is.
I am." He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a big fan. You know, love the podcast. Love everything you guys do." It's like, cool. Yeah, it's good to meet you. He's like, "Oh man, I got another coworker at the place who's gonna flip out. I gotta tell him when you get there." I was like,
Hopefully
"Yeah,
they
that's
say like, "Oh, my favorite thing is the podcast set." I just love the way that you guys have stuck with that for years. and
Should
years.
never change it. I like the fact you're not making a new set.
I was like, "Yeah, that's fine. I'd love to meet him." So we get to the place, and when you're like checking in to get your car, you have to launch the app and you scan a QR code on your car to like register it that it's yours.
Whoa.
So then like I pull my phone out and I'm getting ready to scan it, and he's like, "Whoa, wait." I'm like, "What?" He looks around, he goes, "Do you want to drive a 2017 Audi?" He's like, "I've got it in the back." He's like, "I was supposed to rent it to some Asian guy earlier and I forgot." And I was like, "Well, that's a weird thing to say."
Why would he tell you that?
I was like, "Sure, whatever. Like, I don't care. Yeah, I'll drive a 2017 car." He's like, yeah, hold on. He's like, "I gotta get it." So like, see me like runs to the back of the warehouse. It's like there's one car in the very back. He goes and he gets it, and he like drives it out. He's like, "Yeah, it's brand new. It's beautiful. It's only got like 10 miles on it." I was like, "Cool." He goes, "Oh, look."
No Asians have driven it.
He's like, "Look, oh, there's my friend who's a Rooster Teeth fan. Let me tell him." He's like, hey, you know, John or whatever. It's Gus from Rooster Teeth. And the guy's like, hey. And I'm like, that's weird. That's a weird
Huge
reaction.
fan.
Then he like kind of walks over and like real quiet under his breath. He's like, "Hey, we've met before. I gave you a ride." I was like, "Oh, cool." He goes, "Listen, I just told that guy over there that we don't have any 2017 Audis. And he just saw this one come out and you're getting in it, and he's really mad." And I turn and I look in the parking lot, and there's an Asian dude who's just red and like screaming in the parking lot. I was like, "Oh, sorry."
Why couldn't he just say that you rented it before him?
I think he was there before me.
Well, so he could recognize that it was a 2017 instead of a 2016?
They look a little different. Even you pointed out like the lights looked different on the side.
Yeah.
On the back.
Is that when you put your
but-
sunglasses on and just flipped him off outside the window as you
I felt
drove
so
off?
bad. I did, normally I get in a car and I set the chair and I set the mirrors. I didn't do any of that. I just got in the car and took off. I went like around the corner to like a convenience store. Like that's where I got like settled in the car.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
just
totally not what
reveled
Gus would
in
do.
it.
Gus is not that confrontational.
No.
Were your eyes just like bolted looking ahead, just like...
Yeah, I was like, I don't see him.
Yeah.
Why didn't you do the gentlemanly thing and offer him the car?
Fuck him. I want to drive the new car.
Sure. So Gus wants to get what he wants, but he also
didn't-
doesn't want to be
well, here's the thing.
confrontational.
I didn't know
He goes
I-
to the door and he goes, my wife's Asian, and then gets in and leaves. That's all he does.
I didn't know I wanted it, and then they gave it to me. I was like, well, yeah, now it's mine.
Of course.
I earned this.
You gotta like, you know,
It immediately became yours.
you gotta let the perks happen.
Well, it became mine when I scanned the QR code.
I got
It's
it.
the rules.
Ownership.
That's the rules. It's or break the rules.
Can't break the rules. It's the way it happens.
That's such a like. Try explaining that even in the year like 2005.
I scanned my
I
red,
scanned
yeah,
my
with
rental
my
car
phone,
and it's mine.
And so I had to use. I can actually put my hand like over here, like rest on the. This nice velvety couch that we have. I love it. We saw one of the weirdest things while we were riding in Gus's 2017 Audi
Oh, you were with him too?
in LA at the world's worst event. And then when we were on our way back from it, we saw a car that we talked about very early in the podcast.
One of our early sponsors.
One of our first ever sets. We had back when we had no sponsors for the podcast, and we said we were sponsored by Maybach.
Maybach.
Is it Maybach or Maybach? How do you
I
say
think
it?
at the time we said Maybach, but it's actually Maybach.
Is it Maybach?
Yes.
Is that how you say it?
Your Bach.
It's like the very expensive luxury car.
But
It's like a Rolls or a Bentley.
But probably the most plain-looking luxury car from the outside.
I agree,
typically.
except for the one we saw.
That was an unusual car.
How would you describe it, Gavin?
A car covered in black velvet.
It was covered in black velvet.
No, it wasn't.
And
It
it had
absolutely
and
was.
like
it had
actual
curtains.
like velvet material, or it looked like velvet.
It was this. It was literally like this
How
material
is
right
that
here.
on
like,
the front,
Just
on the
black
roof.
velvet.
How's that appropriate for a car that's out in, I assume, weather?
Well, it doesn't rain very much in Los Angeles, so as long as you keep it in a garage, I guess it's.
It would take one bird shit
Yeah.
to
That'd be
completely-
like a fucking car covered in suede.
That's exactly what it looked like. I thought the exact same thing. I said, why didn't you cover your car in suede?
Yeah, it just shrinks when it rains.
It was.
Wow,
That's a
this is
picture of a
it?
Bentley.
Oh, that's one of them. Yeah.
God damn,
I
that's
guess
so
the thing.
ugly.
That's a Bentley.
But it's a thing with the covered in velvet. The important part is not the car. The important part is that it's covered in
I
velvet.
found that. I'm looking for a Maybach covered in velvet.
You can't really tell. And it was also like not every part of it was covered in velvet. The hood, the roof, and the trunk were, but like all the side panels were
Just
not.
the places that would get rain.
It had like a velvet. It had like a velvet mohawk, basically.
Probably didn't want wheels spitting up dirt against velvet on the side. Just don't put velvet on the car.
How would you
Just don't do it.
Like boarding bird shit.
It also had curtains on the inside of the rear
Yeah, like a
window.
hearse.
Like a hearse,
Yeah,
yeah.
like you could draw the curtains closed if you wanted privacy in the back seat of your
Believe
car.
it or not, that actually changed, I thought, the look of the car more than the velvet did.
Yeah, it was
Like the velvet, I was like, okay, the curtains, I was like, that car looks creepy
Yeah.
now because it has curtains. And not like, I'm judging curtains in a car, but not like great curtains, like kind of see-through. You know, like when you're in a hotel and there's that first
the
layer.
little white sheer one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, can people see through that?
Nah.
I'm asking for a really specific reason.
no.
Okay.
Unless it's like really dark outside and you have all the lights on.
Okay.
Then it's a little dangerous.
Yeah, I think.
What would you do to a car if you had all the money in the world and you just wanted to do something silly?
I know what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it to my car, so I'm not going to tell you.
What are you gonna do?
I'm not. I just told you I'm not going to tell you.
I'm trying to.
You'll
get
see
it out of
soon.
you.
You'll see very soon.
I think
I'm trying to work out with Marcus.
I'm gonna do AstroTurf. I think.
I'm doing it, and I don't want anybody to take my idea before I do it.
Is it AstroTurf?
Wink. It was. Now I got to fucking audible and do something else. So
I'm gonna cover mine with leopard print.
that wasn't one of my sponsor segues, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm not sponsored. I meant audible in the sports sense, not in the listen to books sense.
I'm amazed. People are tweeting using hashtag RT podcast, and they can tell that you have a cold.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I sound different. I assume.
I wouldn't notice.
Didn't
Oh,
she
thank
say
you.
it
You didn't
in the pre thing?
Did she?
No, I didn't say it
Oh.
in the pre thing. You
So you think
mentioned.
she sounds normal right now?
I don't pay attention, I guess.
Sounds like shit right now.
Thanks, Gavin.
You do. You sound
I
like you're ill.
appreciate.
You got a
That's
scratchy
what
throat.
happened before we recorded that intro. Gavin was saying I sounded like shit, and then you got on Gavin for saying that to me right before we were
Because
recording
the day-
something.
Yeah, you don't
Earlier-
say that to somebody before they go on mic. That they
The-
sound like shit.
A few days earlier, we were on $1 Million Butt Set, and Bernie sounded like shit.
I sounded fine.
You sounded like awful. You sounded like you just woke up.
I probably did just wake up.
I know.
It
that's
was a
what I'm
morning
saying.
call time.
Clear your throat.
Fuck off. How about that? You don't tell people before they go on camera. Well, you sound like shit.
But it's if
Is
I
that the
tell
face
you,
you're going to use for this?
I don't care if I sound like shit. I just don't want someone to tell me
You know,
I
you should-
look
that's-
like shit.
There's
Or
somebody
Michael
else,
does
there's
that.
somebody
You have the
else
personality
at
of a cardboard
this company
box.
that used to do that before every live
You're never gonna
appearance
get
that we
that
did.
Jeff.
Like, no, he would walk up to me and go, like, literally, he would say, we'd be going on, they'd be announcing your names, and he would say, is that what you're going to wear for the panel? Like, every time. Like, some kind of, like, little snarky comment. It's like, or like, do you want to look at your hair before
Who
we
is
go
that?
out? Joel.
Oh.
He just, I
Oh.
never understood it.
That was
I
Was
just
he
him
kidding?
living his own
What?
insecurities.
Was he just kidding?
Yeah, but he did it every time we did something. It's like I learned to expect that he was going to do that.
See, I don't do it every time. I just do it when you sound iffy.
That's why I reacted the way I did when you said it to me. I was like, go fuck yourself.
No, if
Trying to
someone told me,
sabotage me before I go on
But
camera.
that's not sabotage. You already sound sabotaged.
what?
You sound sabotaged.
If someone told me I look like shit, or that like, are you gonna wear that?
I
or
would
something?
never do that.
That would be a confidence blast, definitely.
But not like you can't perform. That's not.
I mean, the sound of my voice is not really my performance for this. If I was voice acting, it'd be different.
What
Audio
did you just
podcast?
What did you just say? The sound of your voice is not your performance for this? It's a podcast.
It's just, I mean, whether or not my voice is nasally or not,
It's your energy level.
yeah, I
get
could
you.
still talk fine. I can't maybe like change my voice to sound a certain way.
Fine.
Fine.
Like the way you said it.
Someone on Twitter, who is this, at AH_Panda1,
That sounds made up.
claims to be a Mercedes-Benz expert.
So Maybach is Mercedes-Benz, right?
They're owned by Mercedes-Benz. And they say the reason not everything was covered was because of all the radars under the bumpers and panels.
Yes. I believe it.
Radar is blocked by velvet.
Yeah, so like if we wanted to build a cheaper stealth bomber, could we just cover it in velvet?
it would be darker, probably.
They also, those sensors, unless they have a special technology, you can see those sensors. On my car, they're like little dots.
Can they cut little holes for
Dots.
the sensors?
I mean, if it's black
Dots.
velvet, I'm sure a hole wouldn't show up
Right.
hugely.
Be fine.
You can repaint them. Right? So
Sure.
there you go.
I don't know. I want some clarification on that AH_Panda1. I want some sources, some references. Let me read this. I want to remind everyone this episode of Rooster Teeth podcast is brought to you by. So in speaking with this guy, or speaking about this guy who claims to be an expert on Mercedes-Benzes. Not saying you're not. I just want some
He is.
qualifications
He's
here.
saying you're not.
I had a really frustrating interaction on social media the other day. Last week,
That's social media in a nutshell. But go ahead.
Last week we talked about how during the football game, during an NFL game, Adrian Peterson got hurt and had to be carried out through a restaurant in the
remember
Viking
this.
Stadium to get to the locker room. Mm-hmm. Hold on, let me look up exactly how this went down. Someone tweeted at me saying that they were laughing at how wrong I got all of the facts about that. That I think what did he say, that I was butchering the meme? Yeah.
I don't know. What did he say?
Yeah, he's listening to me butcher the meme. I said, what? He goes, Adrian Peterson was being carried through the team entrance, which happens to look like a restaurant, similar to the Dallas Cowboys Stadium.
It's not actually a restaurant.
So I tweeted him 3 articles that said that it was through a restaurant. Then he wrote, oh, well, I stand partially corrected. It is a restaurant. It is, however, the official tunnel onto the field. And I said, that's exactly what we're criticizing. That's exactly what we were saying.
Oh,
the
that is
players
a
have to be
restaurant?
taken through a restaurant. And he's only partially corrected? Like,
thought-
in his mind, he's like, oh, yeah, they're still partly wrong. Fuck you. Fuck you. We were 100% right. And I went out of my way to find sources. And he's like, oh, no, I stand partially
I
corrected.
thought he was going to say, I stand partially corrected because it still looks like a restaurant.
or the best thing is when they say, I'm only partially wrong because I thought I was right. Basically, that I was completely wrong, but because I thought I was right, then it's not my fault.
How often do you enter into a Twitter argument, do you think?
I'm off Twitter now. For a while.
Bollocks.
I'm off Twitter for a while. I'm taking a break
Why?
because I'm working on other stuff, and it's just like I don't need that to check. So I kind of like I don't go on Reddit anymore, and I don't go on Twitter anymore.
Is that why you don't
I
respond
go on
to any of my
occasionally,
tweets anymore?
I do go through Twitter occasionally and read and will like things every now and then, but haven't posted now in a while, like 4 or 5 days, I think.
Oh, because
No.
I told you to come hang out with me the other day. Is that why you didn't respond?
Oh, you're on Twitter doing that?
Yeah.
It's still
You
get
know
a
you-
notification if you actually did that. You know that, right?
Yeah.
You also have his phone number.
You also never tweeted me ever.
What? I do all the time.
You tweet to go do something?
Yeah, you don't
No.
make plans via a public
No,
medium.
what I do with Bernie, I always tweet you responses of what I know every single other person is responding to you. Mm-hmm. Like one time I think were complaining about how like you get notifications on every single platform, and I was like, I'm Bernie, I'm so popular, and then I responded to myself saying, please don't fire me.
Yeah, I think I can read you my last text conversation with Barbara, which is P.S. I think there's a bunch of us going to that thing, and I wrote P.S. What you just wrote wasn't actually a P.S. It's just a message. She goes BTW. You happy with that? P.S. I hate you. So.
Wait, so you started a message with PS?
Yeah, it was a brand new message. She hadn't messaged me in like 5 days.
It's because
Also,
we were talking about it before.
Also, BTW
Couple
is
days ago.
is an odd way to start a message too.
BT dubs.
By the way.
Yeah, like how is that ever the first thing you say to someone?
By the
Hey,
way.
by the way, we're doing that.
Or just, hey, we're doing that. What's the by the way for?
Because we had been talking about it before.
Eh.
I don't think that's what by the way is for.
Yeah.
By the way, shut up.
She's continuing the conversation from earlier.
By the way,
so
it's like we've had a conversation about something, and now I need to quickly mention this.
I'm
other
also gonna
thing.
level with you. I don't remember the conversation we had earlier. So it's all new
It
conversations.
was
to
about
me.
going to that thing and who was going to that thing.
Can I tell you what I'm very happy about?
No.
We've hired somebody else at the company. He was featured in the Rooster Teeth vlog that I put up this last week. His name is Evan Bregman. And the thing that makes me most happy about Evan, he's a very intelligent man, knows a lot about metrics, tells us how to like program our content in ways that we never looked at
Amazing.
before.
Great. It's great. Anytime I get an email from him with that stuff, it's
Yeah.
amazing to go through and look
That's
at.
tight.
So good to have that stuff. And the best part about him is that he pronounces both with an L. He says both.
Does he?
Yes.
I don't like him anymore.
It's so
Sorry,
refreshing to have
So what-
somebody
what
who knows how to
region-
pronounce it.
What region is that from?
I think it's Northeast. I think it's New England. We say both.
Because he's from LA, though.
But originally,
But Michael doesn't say both.
he
I don't
doesn't
say both either.
I can imagine Michael.
I think
Jones saying
Jersey's
both.
different. Like Jersey's like a
Jersey's
carve out.
not New England.
It is, but it's like a carve out accent wise.
Yeah, they have their own language.
I
in
think
Jersey.
both to me, I've always in my mind it's always been like an upstate New York thing, like further. I don't know,
like
further-
Buffalo?
I'll ask him why.
How do you say
No, more,
with?
it's more of a, it's more
I'll
of a
report
Utica
back.
thing.
I just think it's a sign of sophistication
Unicorn thing?
that you see the word both and you want to improve upon
See,
it.
you did such a
So
great
you
job.
say both.
How do you say froth? Froth.
No, no, it's froth. Froth. I don't say both.
Yeah,
Wait, what was that?
Valve.
What?
What word was that meant to be?
Both.
Bob.
Both. And then froth.
Yeah.
I don't say froth.
Oh,
Is what
yeah.
I'm saying.
He can't be bolstered to go with all of those weird words you're saying.
What
Fair
other
play.
word sounds like bolt?
How do you pronounce OATH?
Off.
Oath?
Do you really say oth? Do you? How do you say it, Barb?
Oath?
Yeah, see, I say oath. I don't. I say oath. But Yeah, I say both. I've always said both my entire life.
It's weird. It's like a standout word.
And I didn't even know it was a thing till my buddy in college pointed it out to me, and then I wrote that red versus blue scene based on that.
I never noticed it until we did that scene.
Right.
And I was like, motherfucker. Now I can't unhear it.
And what's
When
funny
other
is
people say
not,
both?
You're not even in the scene. It was like a Griffin Simmons
Yeah,
joke.
they're arguing with each other about saying both.
Why didn't you make it about church? Because that's actually how
It's too close to home.
I don't know. I mean, all the material comes out of my head. I mean, it's like, are we going to make everything apply to church?
No, but now you have to make other people say both when you say it naturally anyway. It's such an easy give for your character.
Well, I guess so. I bet church has probably said both a few times. Both.
There was someone on Twitter who said they feel bad that we have to be on the same couch as we were before. This is not the same couch.
Not even close. It's a much smaller, more intimate couch.
And it also like makes us sit upright. It's not all
I'm
curved back anymore.
those chairs that were on the old podcast set. I like calling it the old podcast set now. Those chairs were a nightmare. I never liked those chairs.
Why? What was a nightmare?
I love
about
those
them?
chairs.
It was like a crevice in the back where you'd be like in a V shape while you were sitting in them. It's just awful.
Those are great
I
chairs.
didn't
Like
like
an
the
open-
I like being
couch
L-shaped.
because there's always food in their little nooks,
Good Lord.
like crumbs.
You know, this couch has nooks too. Oh no, it actually doesn't on the seat part, just on the armrest part. So we're
Yeah,
good. We're safe.
Is it comfortable, the new couch?
Yeah, it kind of feels like a car. You
I
know?
would like it if I was in your position because it's material versus the other one was like pleather leather.
Yeah, it was
Leather.
leather, I think.
Like these are leather chairs, and it's like kind of wish we had cloth.
I kind of wish we had
Cloth?
armrests.
Cloth. That's the right way to say it. Cloth. Cloth. It's the right way to say it.
Shall I
That's
talk
nice.
about my genius movie watching idea?
Yes.
I'm very upset with
Only
you.
if it's actually
So tell your
genius.
story, get in and out of it. I'm upset with you, and I want to come back to this.
You want to go first?
Legitimately upset with you. Tell your story. Your idea is a great idea.
That's sabotage.
I-
Yeah,
what I
you're
want-
I'm gonna
kind of
tell the
sabotaging a story.
What I
you
don't
could
care
have just
about.
saved it.
I don't care about my story. What are you pissed off with?
So Gus,
Uh-oh. I'm getting dragged into this.
after the world's worst event that we went to this weekend, we went out for drinks afterwards, right?
Yes.
And I don't know if you remember, but at one point I asked Gavin, "Are you going to RTX Sydney? Like, are you doing it?" Because I got an email about a thing where I was supposed to be helping somebody organize something for RTX Sydney. And Gavin says, "I don't know. They haven't told me, but all I know is they've booked Dan." And I go,
I
"Well,"
didn't say that and told me.
I said, "If they booked Dan to go," we had this discussion about they booked Dan but not you to go. I said, if they booked Dan and not you, that means you're going. Like, it's Slow-Mo Guys, so you're going to go to RTX Sydney.
Well, I'm shooting there.
Well, what did you say?
We're going to try and film there.
That means you're going.
I know.
But in the conversation, you specifically said, I asked you to go to RTX Sydney. Go, they booked Dan. They didn't book me, but they booked Dan, so I don't know.
Bollocks!
You literally said that.
No, I didn't.
Then what was the conversation why they booked
All right.
Dan but not you? What is the context of that conversation? Because you did say that.
I think my answer was, yeah, I think so. I mean, Dan's going. I didn't say I don't know.
But you wouldn't answer. You didn't answer the question of are you going? You're saying
That one
Dan's
sounds
going.
more like you.
What's that?
The one you said.
Yeah.
I don't know. They booked Dan.
So then I go to Bethany today and I go, hey, can you just tell Gavin if he's going to RTX Sydney or not? Because I was with him this weekend. He didn't know if he was going, but Dan's booked to go, but he's not.
But Dan's going.
But Gavin doesn't know if he's going or not. And so Bethany writes him on Slack and she goes, can you just look up at our previous conversation on Slack that literally it's me telling you that you're going to RTX Sydney and that you're booked?
It
Yeah.
said you are officially confirmed.
And she goes, and Gavin goes, oh yeah, I know. I'm well aware of that. And so then Bethany comes back to me like, I'm a fucking psycho that I ruined her day, interrupted her from what she was doing to tell her to please let Gavin know if he's going to RTX Sydney or not, and he's already known.
Are you sure?
And then when she asked him, he goes, I'm well aware of this fact.
Are you sure you didn't ask me whether people know I'm going?
I just said, are you going to RTX Sydney? That's what I
Pretty
said.
sure. Hey,
and
I
you
was-
said, well, they booked Dan.
All right, let me first throw this out there. Bit bevved. Little bit
Yes.
tipsy.
Yeah.
And maybe you didn't ask it in the way that you're saying you did.
I don't understand
Because
this.
I know I'm going.
This goes back to another conversation we
you do,
had,
since Bethany told
where it's
you.
like I'm specifically asking for a reason. Like, are you going to RTX Sydney? That's like I'm asking you because I think you're going, and we've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
And have they officially booked you and told you that you're going?
But let me ask you this. What's in it for me to say I don't know I'm going?
What's in it for you? Because you're pointing out the fact that you don't know, but you know Dan's going, so I
No.
guess that I'm going.
No, I know I'm going, but why would I say I didn't?
What?
Like, what? How's that a benefit?
I don't know.
What?
I'm because you're mental. I don't know what it is. I don't know why
I don't
you did
think
that.
that's what you asked me.
You led me into this trap.
Did you ask
So
me?
when I ask you, are you going to RTX Sydney? Let me ask you now.
Yeah.
Are you going to RTX Sydney?
Yeah.
That's how you answer the question. Not by saying, well, Dan's booked, so, that's like, oh, shit, nobody tells Gavin if he's going or not, but they decided to book Dan. You literally didn't say you were going. All you said was Dan was booked and that you're not.
I would love if I remembered this conversation better, because I really don't.
And I immediately, like, next day, I've got your back. I go into Beth and go, please
Look,
let
I
Gavin
appreciate your effort, and I'm sorry I made you sound like a lunatic. But
I sounded
really,
like a psycho.
I don't really remember the conversation we were having.
This was after the worst event of all time that you guys went.
Maybe I was annoyed at you for something.
We're done traveling. I'm just done traveling. That's it, Barb.
Everyone disappeared on us that night. Do you remember that?
We just stayed out
No,
later,
you
I
guys
thought.
disappeared, and then we couldn't figure out where you went, so everyone just kind of dispersed.
Yeah, we said we're going to the bathroom. Gavin and I went to the bathroom. We came out, everyone was gone.
Is that what happened?
That's what happened.
I remember just sitting in the lobby.
Yeah, then we were like, oh, I guess everyone just left, and you and I just sat in the lobby
did,
hanging out.
Gavin take a longer time to finish than usual?
What?
Sucking each other off a little bit?
Oh, wow. I thought you meant going to the bathroom. You
I
meant
didn't
No,
say
I
talking
meant
about
like
blowjob.
ejaculation from
No, it took him the
Gus's
normal
mouth.
amount of time to pee.
So, right, have you ever
Barb
been,
paints such a pretty picture.
have you ever been watching something, Barbara,
Yeah.
but like Aaron wants to watch something else?
No.
Okay.
What?
Like on TV?
Yeah.
Like I'm watching something.
Yeah.
And
What
he
does
goes,
this have to do with
I
you
don't
guys in
want
the
to
bathroom?
watch.
You guys wanted to watch
I know where
different
this.
things?
I know where this is going.
I don't
Right.
want to watch this, and he goes, like, let's watch something else.
Oh, I see. I know where you're going with this thing.
Well, here's my idea, my
To Sydney.
genius movie watching idea.
Oh,
right?
is this? Oh, okay.
Say you're watching a movie. You're watching the movie as normal, but every other frame is of a different movie. Right?
Every other frame,
So
Yeah.
you're watching The Matrix, and every other frame is Reservoir Dogs.
or The Notebook. Okay.
The Notebook.
you're
That is,
watching-
that is also a movie.
Sorry, yes.
I'm
So
trying
you're
to paint
watching
a picture
two
I can imagine.
movies simultaneously. Do you think you could focus your attention on one of the movies while someone else focuses their attention on the other one, and you just have the audio of the one you want to watch? Or do you think if you had one ear that was one movie and one ear that was the other movie, could you just have two
why-
movies and watch two movies at once?
That's what's interesting to me is
Yeah.
watching two movies at the same time.
That's impossible.
I don't totally think
I
you
mean,
can do it.
you'd probably have a seizure.
Nah.
What, just because it'd be like...
Well, I mean, I don't.
It would also, we'd have to decide whether to replace the frame with the other movie or just move the frame to after the other frame. But the idea would be to have both
Right,
movies
move-
play at the same
Yeah,
time.
you would have to replace because if you moved after, then you're watching two movies, right? You're
Yeah,
doubling
in the
the
same
length.
time as
It would
two
have to be
movies.
like you're watching
Yeah.
every other frame of the like. I want to watch the odd edition of The Matrix today, or I'm going to watch the evens. I think the evens has a better flow than the odds.
Wait, so
I'm dying to try this.
The way I was
I think it's
thinking
a brilliant idea.
is
Would
that
it-
one movie will never have the exciting moments at the exact same time as the other movie. So you could be like focusing on this one. Oh, there's an explosion.
but you're
That one's
saying
just-
watch an entire movie all the way through on one of them.
Yeah. Well, hopefully watch both movies at the same time.
With one in one ear and one in the other.
Yeah, and you just sort of like focus your attention where.
I honestly
You
think
want.
I would have a seizure and start foaming at the mouth if that happened. No, I don't think I could do that.
I
I,
think-
don't know if that's like humanly possible.
What I told Gavin is I've seen proof of concepts of this that utilize the polarization for 3D televisions. So you could have glasses basically that have two left eye polarizations in it, and someone else wears two right eye polarizations, and then the movies can be shifted off a frame so that one only appears in the left and one only
No.
appears in the right.
So
you put
that'd be taking the technology from a 3D movie,
And making
but instead of
two
having
2D
two eyes,
movies.
you have two movies.
right.
Gavin didn't remember the viral hoax about the guy who had invented the little sensors you put on your head, and they make your eyes blink in the frequency of a 3D movie.
I don't remember that.
Really? I thought I could have sworn I showed that to you guys on the
I've seen that.
podcast. You've seen it, right?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, it's really, really funny.
Only because I tried to emulate it myself.
Yeah, try to blink as fast as you possibly could.
That's
I thought it was a really well engineered because it's like a hoax that like has no impact.
gonna
It's
be
like
a
why
bitch.
would someone go through this amount of trouble to all that visual effects of having the guy's eyes blink out of time
It's
and
really
super
well
fast.
done.
It's really well done. Yeah.
Like one of them's like,
I bet your eyelids would get tired.
Oh, they would get like they
wouldn't be
would
physically
scrape your
possible.
eyes
Right.
after a while.
You'd have to have like another Mister attachment to like keep your eyes moist at the same time while you're blinking nonstop.
I mean, one eye would have to open and close so many times in a second. I mean, I'm sure the speed would be doable, but to go the other
He needs a
way is
mister to
what
lubricate
takes
his
the
eyes.
time. Like you could never blink and open in the same amount of time,
yeah. Ugh.
like following each other.
You'd have to like figure out the most efficient blink where it's like maybe the eyelid doesn't cover the whole eye. It just comes down far enough
Yeah,
to
just over
cover
the
your pupil. Yeah, and then go back up.
Well, that's what people do when they look around. Like if I snap my eyes over there, if you film that in slow-mo, sometimes the eyelid comes down over the pupil as it moves and then comes back up.
Really?
Yeah, but not all the time.
Your brain also shuts off your vision while you snap your eyeballs.
Yeah, like if you look from side to side.
You get temporarily blind, so you don't see all the motion blur.
Yeah.
Self ill.
I mean, you see some.
God, this is making me very aware of my eyeballs right
It is.
now.
It'll make you super aware of your eyeballs. Can I pause for a moment? I want to do something.
Okay.
I want to acknowledge something.
Acknowledge.
Two things. I want to acknowledge the broadcast crew for pulling off that introduction on today's podcast because we worked on it. We were convinced it could possibly go wrong with the switch to live, so you guys did a tremendous job.
Yeah.
I also want to give a shout out to the broadcast crew for dealing with the old podcast set being on the floor and not on one of our platforms because they had to break it down and reconstruct it every single week. And that was just like piece by piece.
Sometimes
For
multiple
6
times because sometimes other productions use
Right.
it for recording
Yeah.
various things.
For 6 months.
It's probably
And
the
so-
most commonly used set out of everything.
I do like when you talk about the crew, they switch to the pretty camera.
I know.
that's-
They're just like, look what we could do.
That's the secret now. It's like, did you ever notice when you're watching the opening credits to a movie that the most like regal or like awesome shot in the opening credits always has the director's name on it? That's a thing that's done.
I'll
It's
have to
just
look
like-
out for that.
Yeah,
now.
you'll notice it now that I was pointed out to me like years and years ago. And now it's like you always kind of just laugh to yourself.
It's weird to me when that's not the case though, because sometimes you watch a movie and then like the director's credit is like nothing or like the weirdest shot of the
They're just
opening
trying to be
credits.
humble,
Right?
and
It's
that's
like,
it.
Yeah.
oh, okay, cool.
I remember watching. I don't remember the name of the movie. It might be Spy Hard or something. But Weird Al sung the opening, and all the credits are coming up. It's like a musical opening, like a Bond movie. And then his name comes up, and he goes like, he like does a little nod to it or something. It's pretty funny.
That's
it was
great.
It was a nice touch.
Did you make a tweet this weekend that like all the James Bond actors,
Yeah,
like the official ones, are still alive?
yeah. I just think it's cool. They're all alive at the same time. Still.
I'm pretty happy that all the presidents that are alive now. Like I just saw
5 of them?
like all the way back to Carter is alive.
Except for Reagan though.
Reagan's not alive. But like almost all the presidents from my entire life are still alive. That's crazy to me.
I just think it's nice to appreciate people being alive. Like you'll be bummed out when one of them dies. It's like, man, I can't believe we had all the Bonds until 2016 or whatever.
yeah, but then you also forget, which is really sad. Like I had to think for a second that Reagan was dead. Like I was going over in my head, like who was not alive. He died a while ago too.
Yeah, it was
right?
a long. He was one of the older presidents when he got elected.
He
so,
was.
Yeah.
He was pretty old dude to begin with.
What's
that was-
crazy
And
is-
he had lived a long life. I think he was in his 90s. He might have been like in his early 90s when he passed away.
when was he president?
80 to 88.
So was he in his?
I think he was elected at 74.
which
pretty
I think Trump's
Oh,
72, right?
No, Trump's 70.
70? Yeah.
Really, that's it.
Yeah, so he'll be 70 when he's president.
The
How old's
the
his happy?
debate's going on right now
Nope.
during this podcast.
Is it? Yeah, it is going right now.
Reagan
So
was
everyone
ni-
just tuned out.
Reagan was 93 when he passed away.
The debates, I'll
Good
just watch the
innings.
highlights. You know what I mean? It's like, those are long fucking debates, and I can't really take listening to either one of them. And
Do you-
certainly not Trump for that long. I just can't do
Do you
it.
think at this point anything said in that debate would affect the
Anybody's
outcome
mind?
for you, or like for you? Like if you miss it, what does it matter to you?
Oh, for my vote? No, I can definitely say it would not.
Right.
I mean, it could. Like, honestly, I kind of keep in the back of my mind that if, like, Trump, like, 3 weeks before the election or a day before the election goes, nah. I was just trying to show everybody how stupid media is and, like, how you can easily manipulate it to the point where you could potentially get somebody who's going to be president of the United States. And I was just trying to prove that. I'd be like, that was fucking
Or
amazing.
some-
I would then be the biggest Trump fan in the world.
Or someone could effectively just amass enough money to then control the largest, most modern military in the world. Because that's
Yeah.
essentially, if you draw the line, that's what's happening, right?
Yeah.
It's just someone with a lot of money willing to invest the time and the energy into running for president, and they're essentially buying a military.
You know, I got in a long discussion with someone. I was in LA for a couple days, and then I was home for like a day, then went back to LA with you guys. And I was out to dinner with a friend, and we were talking about just like how they were talking about how someone with a lot of money has so much influence. Like a billionaire can just spend money and make things happen. Like Peter Thiel, like whether or not you believe it, funded Hulk Hogan's lawsuit against Gawker. Now Gawker's out of business.
I think that's true. I think he has acknowledged that that is true.
And he did it like he laid in wait because they outed him. Wasn't that what it was?
Yes.
And then because they publicly outed him, as, being relevant to the public interest. And of course, he was like, that's a very private matter. He held a grudge against him, and when he had an opportunity, he funded something to put him on a business. And this person was saying they were at like an activist event, and that the billionaire got up and was like, Google had donated something like $150,000 to the event, and then during the course of the event, they raised like $800,000, and the billionaire got up and goes, I just want to let everybody know I'm going to match tonight's total. And like another $800,000. Like,
Whoa.
here you go.
badass.
Boof. No big. And they were saying it's like, that's like so much influence to like be able to do that. You know what I mean? To do that kind of thing. And I put on them that, they are easily considered a famous person. And I said, you can't buy that like fame and what comes with it of just like people listening to what you have to say. Like a billionaire, shows up and spends $800,000, but then like how many people does that actually influence? It does buy things, and it does make things happen. But at the same time, that billionaire is looking at what they have and saying, I need that. I need to have a voice that people listen to. And so the way they try to get that is by dropping big chunks of change. So I was saying it's like there's a lot of ways that you can influence things. I think with Trump, I think it's less so about the money and more his understanding of media, like how he gets so much value out of media for nothing, for nothing. He just like every day it's like, okay, what was the inflammatory thing I said yesterday? I got to top that. Let's go. And it's just like, it's literally, he was 100% correct when he said earlier in the campaign he could walk out onto Fifth Avenue and shoot people and he wouldn't lose a single voter.
And that was not even a very controversial
statement.
I mean, people got a little upset by that, but it's not like out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I really do wonder like what it would take. Like if I could see a situation like I have a friend who thinks that the Trump campaign was a play, and that he didn't actually want to be president,
like a test.
Right, like
Yeah.
he just wanted to get enough attention to where he could start. This was their prediction that he could start a Fox News network competitor, and like because that's worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
And like just take over that whole audience from Fox News, for instance. It's like he would drop out of the race and then immediately start his own network. And so this whole time I've like been kind of thinking, okay, but what if they're right? Could he drop out at any point? I wonder at this point if Trump wanted to leave the race or like submarine his own campaign, could he do it? Like, I know he could drop out of the race.
What would happen?
But if he
that
just
was the
said,
case?
I'm going to adopt a strategy from this point forward, like at the debates tonight, I'm just going to start saying lunatic shit, like off the rails. Like we're going to put people in prisons and stuff like that. Could he damage his own campaign enough to not get elected at this point?
Yes.
Or is it just like, is it far enough along
No,
where
I don't
he
think
couldn't
so.
stop it?
I think everyone.
He could
I think
grab
everyone,
a baby, pull down the baby's pants, and put his finger in the baby.
What
That's
is
a
it-
crime.
What is
That's a
it
crime.
with you and baby anuses?
I'm saying that'll get him out. That'll do it.
no, I don't think that would.
That won't even get you removed from this podcast, Gavin. You just said that.
But I
Came
didn't
up with
do
that
it.
completely unsolicited.
It's such a weird
You
thing
can't.
to say.
I'm just trying to think of something mental.
I don't
That's
think-
what you think of?
I don't
Fingering
think
a
there's
baby?
anything he could do at this point to change people's minds.
Than being a pedophile on camera?
I still
That's
think
a
people
crime,
are just gonna
first
be
of
like,
all.
"Oh, that crazy Trump."
If he goes to jail, it's kind of tough to be president when you're in jail for a felony you committed on national television.
So you're saying what could he do that isn't a crime?
What he starts saying, like he's just like,
I think if he just reversed his position on everything and went like far left.
I'm gonna tax the shit out of everybody.
Right, like,
Yeah.
and then he just intentionally does everything to alienate the people who do support him.
Right.
And it's like just go from one side to the other. Then that's how you would do it.
Like he reversed position on saying something like Obama's citizenship, for
Right.
instance. If he reversed that, is that what you're saying?
I'm saying like if he wanted to take everyone's guns away and give abortions to everyone and not repeal Obamacare.
I think it's I think you're right. I think guns would do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think guns. If somebody said, "I'm literally going to take away your guns," I think that
I
person.
think you
would
could say
lose the
take
election.
away guns and take away Social Security, take away social like the social safety net.
Social Security.
Right.
Anything that
think-
affects elderly voters.
Yeah,
they'll show up.
Yeah, exactly.
I think in this country, saying "I'm going to take away your guns" is the equivalent of declaring war in the same country. That'll be
Yeah.
civil war.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's why we have that amendment in the Constitution, is to protect people from the government.
It's
So,
just
yeah.
like a bunch of
would actually make
6-year-olds
sense.
arguing with each other.
What's that?
This whole election is just like 6-year-olds arguing with each other. Like who's smellier?
Yep. But as citizens too, I know you guys can't vote, but it's almost like I feel myself getting exhausted, and I'm like, I can't do that. I can't let them win by just beating me down to where I'm apathetic and I just don't care. I have to continue caring, and I have to, wake up and make an effort to continue caring. I actually don't know how I'm going to vote. I'm not saying that I'm considering voting for Trump because I'm not. And if you're a Trump supporter, thank you for no longer watching. I'm sure you'll get upset by that and not want to watch me anymore. But I also feel like I don't want to vote for a two-party system. But at the same time, it's like I don't know what I want more. You know, at this point, I'm so fearful of what could happen in a Trump presidency. I think he's going to win too. I really do think he'll be the president of the United States.
I think it's because a lot of people think the way you do.
What's that?
That they don't know what they're going to do. And I think the people who want to vote for Trump are a lot more firm with that decision.
Do you think people will vote for him because they think he won't win?
No.
I don't think so. Not anymore.
Like Dan did with a Brexit?
I do think there's a certain percentage of people who vote just kind of like as like a statement, you know? Newt Gingrich kind of touched on that this weekend when he said that all Hillary Clinton does is say things that can be fact-checked, but Donald Trump says things that he understands that people just want change. It's like, what does that mean? Like she says facts and he just says, I want change.
Which is funny because
what's the opposite of a fact?
Well, I don't have time, and I'm not. You wouldn't guess it from how much we're talking about it today, but I'm not that political. But I would love to research and see like what Newt Gingrich had to say about the change campaign of Obama, because that was Obama's big thing, is just change, right? And there were so many people that criticized him, like, well, you can't just say change, you've got to say what you're going to do, you know? And now it's funny, it's like Donald Trump is sending that message and people get it. It's just a lot of people upset. That's all it is, and they want something to be different.
It's been interesting watching. I think we talked about it before about 538.com, the website that does like all the statistical analysis. After the party conventions, there was a huge disparity in the odds of each candidate winning. Like it was Clinton was way ahead and Trump was way behind, and then ever since then the lines have been converging, and now it's like really,
I see a lot of
really close to look at
I think
them.
he's gonna win.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I think he's gonna win.
It looks like a butt plug at the end.
It kind of does.
I definitely think he's gonna win.
When's the election?
It's in November. I want to say November
3rd? No.
What?
8th?
November 8th.
We're almost a month away.
Could Obama just lock himself in the Oval Office?
Can he?
No, that would be illegal.
8 more years.
All right, let me read something else.
That's
here.
something we're very proud of in this country, is that we have the longest running streak of transfer of power without violence. Right?
Well, like nobody's.
Is it the longest running?
So we have one of the oldest governments in the world, and I think Gavin on the couch over there has probably the only person who could say they have a longer one.
I saw a crazy stat the other day.
Like at 240 years, which I think is what we're at now from 1776, is that we're one of the longest standing governments in the world.
There was a crazy stat I read the other day that the Queen has been the Queen for 25% of the time that the United States has existed.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, see, like Bernie said, it's been around 240 years. She's been on that throne for 60 years. Like
House
1/4
Windsor.
of the time that we have existed, she has been queening.
Wow. She's been queening.
Yeah, you know.
So somebody says on Twitter, look into Governor Gary Johnson, the Libertarian presidential candidate that actually has a chance versus Trump and Hillary. No, they don't.
No.
Thanks for tweeting, but you're 100% correct. Incorrect.
I think they're on here. They're on the graph. They're on the graph. You see that yellow line at the bottom that you think was just like the x-axis? That's his chance.
The floor of the graph.
Yeah. That's where he is.
The x-axis.
Yeah, less than 0.1%.
Because the people that are going to vote for a libertarian candidate are people who fall more on the actual political right of the spectrum, not what our parties are. I don't think our parties represent either the left or the right, even though the Republicans are associated as being the right. The actual political philosophy and being right-leaning, that's like pure libertarian, and those people are now voting for Trump. They're not going to leave Hillary to vote, and people who are going to vote for Trump, they're going to vote for Trump. You're not switching them at this point. Like we said earlier, what could happen? And people goes, oh, I'm not voting for this guy.
Right.
That moment's not going to happen.
Are you allowed to buy votes?
What?
Like, if Trump said, "I'll give you $5 if you vote for me."
That's surely illegal.
One could argue that is what George W. Bush did when he was elected. Because coming out of the Clinton administration, we were running a budget surplus, which means every year we were taking in more money in tax revenue than we were spending. And it was on our way to pay down the national debt, which is the huge number, like the multi-trillion-dollar number that the budget deficit contributes to every year. This isn't the trade deficit, it's the budget deficit.
I think we displayed the number on the screen last time, didn't we?
What's that?
It was like the ridiculous.
It's scary.
Do you think?
And so when Bush was elected, he said, the government shouldn't run as a surplus. That's your money. The government isn't here to make a profit. we're clearly taking too much money, so I'm going to refund all that money to you. Literally, after Bush was elected, I got a $600 check in my mailbox. Remember that?
Yep.
Yeah. But it's like, pay back the deficit. That's like, we all talk about the deficit. Here's how you do it. And it's like, nah.
Do you think this election is like, it's going to be some sort of record for the amount of people voting, not necessarily for a certain president to win, but against a certain president to not win?
I think that.
If you had like exit polls, like, why'd you vote for X?
Yeah.
It's because I didn't want to vote for Y.
So that this certain president wouldn't win.
I have to be honest, it's a motivation for me. Really
Yeah.
is.
So your thing should just say Trump or not Trump.
Right. Or no, there's people who are voting for Trump because they can't stand Hillary because emails and...
Yeah, so I
She's
think
a
that
woman.
happens every election. I wouldn't be surprised if it's in line with every other election. I feel like every election, it's, I can't stand that other person.
But I
I'm
feel
gonna
like
vote
this
for
one more than any.
I don't know.
Although
It's just
you know,
like just getting a lot of attention now because it's current, right?
I guess.
I feel like it happens all the time.
Guess we'll find out.
Anyway, let me read this thing here. Want to remind everyone this episode of the podcast is also brought to you by...
I was just admiring the bar on this new podcast set on both sides. Like, it is stocked.
Not with any beer though.
Do you want something?
There's actual alcohol, but just like the way it actually looks like a real bar behind us.
It's a real bar.
Well, there's a sign that
what
says...
does it take to be a bar?
but I
there's a
mean,
sign
like
that says
at an actual
bar.
venue.
Oh, I see.
Do you want an actual license?
Like a tavern.
Yeah, like it looks like.
Well, I got my booze. No more beer for me. I get to drink nice
Straight
cocktail.
whiskeys?
What is that?
I'm drinking Maker's Mark on the rocks.
Those are some tiny rocks.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
but it's
also-
melting. You know what? People get those steel ice cubes so they don't melt, or rocks.
Yeah.
I like when ice melts into a drink. That's part of like the ritual with me.
What was it down?
Yeah, I like it. But I don't add water to my whiskey. I don't do that. I just let the ice slowly do it over
What
time.
is the
That's the
def-
same thing.
What's the definition of a
Sort
cocktail?
of. This is the way I do it. What's
Like,
that?
surely putting ice in a drink isn't a cocktail.
I think a cocktail is just alcohol rather than beer.
There you
right?
go.
Yeah.
Beer, wine, and cocktails.
Yeah, so a cocktail could be just a glass
I
full
mean,
of
we're
vodka.
just drinking liquor.
But surely a cocktail, you got to mix something with something else. At
Surely.
least.
Why not?
Surely.
An alcoholic drink consisting of a spirit or several spirits mixed with other ingredients such as fruit, juice, lemonade, or cream.
Suck it.
What? A spirit. This is a
Or
spirit.
several spirits mixed with other ingredients.
Suck it.
Is ice not an ingredient?
Here's the way I'm hearing that. Here's the way I'm hearing that definition. That a cocktail is a spirit or spirits mixed with other stuff.
You can't.
No, it's a spirit or spirits
When
that are
you
mixed with
read
stuff.
the definition of something, you can't take the first thing and say that's the definition.
Spirit or
that's
spirits.
what the or.
So one or more spirits mixed with other things.
That's like saying
I believe
gummy worms are sugar. Actually, they are
Well,
sugar.
they are. That's kind of it.
Yeah,
Well, you know what I mean. You can't just list the first thing and be like, oh, it's that. It's not or.
It consists of a spirit or spirits that are
And
mixed
the
with other
Holy
stuff.
Ghost.
Got it. I'm saying I see
That's
your.
not
I'm
even your
saying-
religion.
I see your definition and I
Gavin.
see mine. It needs an Oxford comma in it to be, but nobody likes the Oxford comma.
not?
What's that quote? The Spirit, the Mother, and the Holy Ghost? No, what is it? I have no idea.
Father, Son, the Holy Spirit.
But where's the Holy Ghost then?
The Holy Ghost is the Holy Spirit.
Different versions of Christianity say it different ways.
I think the Spirit and the Ghost are the same bloke.
It's the same thing.
Casper the
It is the
Friendly
same thing. They
Ghost?
say it different ways.
Spirits or ghosts.
The Trinity.
I'm gonna just combust
You're
one
going
day.
to heck.
That's Jewish
And
hell.
then in Catholicism, there's a lot more emphasis on the Virgin Mary as well.
Yes.
There
So
would be.
She's like she's hanging out with them all the time.
I bet
So
she is.
She's right in there.
we tried to go to a restaurant the other day. We were walking down the street.
Is this another story of you three and not me?
Yes.
Fun.
We're walking down
Do
the
you
street.
wish you were there?
I do, of course.
No, you don't.
And we're like, let's go eat somewhere. And Bernie's vlogging the whole time, of course. And we're like, let's just go to, we picked a restaurant down the street. We're like, let's
When
just go
I'm
to that
tapping, still had
restaurant.
optimism for the event.
And
Casey Burns.
on
over
the
here.
way there, we see like another restaurant that's like a little off to the side. Like, oh, what's that place? It's like a sausage place.
Oh yeah.
It's like, let's go eat there. He's like, yeah, that place looks good. So like we walk over and like I stop for a second at the door and I look and they have the menu outside, like outside of the door. It's like, oh yeah, this place looks good. I go to the door and pull it to open it, and it's locked. Like,
Okay.
what the fuck? And I look at the menu again. I'm like, I guess they're not open. I'm trying to look for hours. Like, yeah, they're not open right now. And then Bernie looks at me and goes, I don't think they're going to be open anytime soon. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, look inside. And I looked inside, and the whole building was just gutted.
It's empty.
Oh my god.
But you see the back wall.
But I feel like we both walked up to it and thought, oh, it's completely torn to shreds. And then Gus started looking at the menu. He's like, oh, I think I'm going to have Oh, maybe they're not open. I was like, look inside,
Oh,
man.
guys. Oh, they're only open on Tuesday.
Why would they still have the menu up
Tuesday
if they're
through
Yeah,
Friday.
that's
good?
what I thought. I was like, the menu's here.
There was a
would think
huge
it's open.
debate
Yeah,
as to whether they were building the place or like renovating the place because the menu was up.
They must have gone out of business or moved.
You
I
remember
would.
the-
I
you remember
don't
the name of
think
the
you
place?
put the menu
Lonk.
up first.
Sorry, we're closed.
It was Link, but for some reason the eye was inside of a circle, so that it looked like a lonk. What's the name of the
I
place?
think the eye was a fork.
It was
as
like
well.
a fork with a sausage on it, but it had a circle around it,
You
so it
can
looked like
see it
long.
in my new vlog. I'm trying to
Maybe
figure
it
out how
was
to
long.
do a version of the vlog that's not like on just the first platform because that's more for information. Like on the first vlog, I went over everything that we do to greenlight a show and like what it takes.
Oh, that was good.
I used Always Open as part of the example. I don't know if I ended up cutting that.
I don't know.
Was that in the final
if we
thing?
talked about it.
When I talked about Always Open in the piloting part of that process.
Why don't you just start a vlogging channel?
I don't know.
Well, then
I don't
it
know.
takes
Do you
away
think there would be
from-
any tolerance for actual vlog videos on Rooster Teeth?
We could always
on
upload
the
it
Rooster
directly
channel.
Yeah, I don't
to
think there would be tolerance
Facebook.
for that. Was it?
We could upload it directly to Facebook. Do
Yeah.
a lot of video on Facebook now.
So I think I'm gonna split them because it's like the audience is like they watch them and some people really like the one side, which is like the adventure fun go doing stuff thing. Like Ashley and I in this one we went to the Emmys, and then went to Hannah and Grace's movie. But then there was like there's the
Mamrie.
information stuff, and it's like some people want the information, don't want to mix it with all the other stuff because they don't have to try to find it. And there's other people who just want the adventure,
You should just do,
happy go fun stuff.
Half and half.
Half. Well, that's what I'm kind of doing now is half and half, but
Yeah.
like interspersed. So I'm thinking about splitting it and doing it two
So
different.
doing more information for first members.
There you go.
And
Go ahead.
then more adventure for public.
There you go. Got it. Barbara nailed the
Genius.
system.
I'm listening.
You figured it out.
Do you just want to be paid to go on more adventures?
You got it. No, it's fun. It's just like I didn't realize until I started making them too. Like I feel like we talk about everything in our lives in the podcast, but we really don't. You know what I mean? Like I would never talk about going to an after party,
Why not?
or maybe we would, but I just like
We would talk about it if there was something to make fun of about it, probably.
maybe, yeah, but not just like hey, you're just hanging out. Like went out to dinner with.
Had a great time.
Like
Schmoozing.
Maud, like hung out with Maud, and I got to tell that story on the podcast because Maud was with me. I got to tell the story in the vlog. I mean about Gavin not wanting to. I was very nice in the vlog, and I said that Gavin was intimidated by Maud, but he was just like, I can't stand this. Get me out of here.
You didn't want to be
That's
Bernie's
what- that's-
wingman.
She was talking his ear off a little bit.
And then Maud at the thing the other night was like, scared of me, huh? Intimidated. I was like, oh, is that what he said? Sure.
Dude, I love Mod.
I met Maud. I thought I had met Maud before, but I met her the other day.
Yeah.
And it's because I know another Maud, or we know another Maud, and I thought
We do.
Bernie was talking about that Maud.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
surely there can't be another young woman named Maud.
Well, the other Mod we know has a great pizza place.
What happened? What are you guys laughing about?
Maud Pizza.
Oh, MOD, the Maud pizza place right next door?
suck.
Barbara, nobody knows who watches the podcast knows that we have a pizza place
I
next
wish
door
you were further away from
called
me.
Maud Pizza. Good one.
So
Maud.
I just assumed it was the same person. So like, surely there's not another person named Maud.
I don't go to that pizza
It's
place
stuck
because I had a
inside me for
bad
so
experience
long.
the first time I went there.
Why?
Should I go back there? There was
I love
somebody
Maud
behind
Pizza.
the counter they were understaffed and she was remarkably unhelpful. And that is a wicked
All
combination.
right, let's interact. You be her, I'll be you. Hey, I want this pizza. Please.
Here's what you can pick. You can pick this or you can pick that or you can pick that.
What
That
did I
one.
just ask for, though?
You just ask for a pizza. I'm telling you, you can get wheat or you white or you can get
But surely when I walked up,
Gluten-free.
I said the name of the pizza.
what do you want?
You said
I'll
a
have,
pizza.
I'll have the Jimmy.
What does that mean? Do you not order like that? You'd say
They have names of pizzas.
you get the crust and you get the thing. I didn't order that way. He's ordering. I can't be unhelpful in the way that I didn't
All right.
experience.
I want this.
No, you have to cheers. Here's what you do.
Okay.
You can look up here.
Yep.
Why don't you order by name, please? Like the Jimmy, for instance.
But it's called Mod Pizza. You can modify. You
Right.
can mod it any way you want.
okay, fine. So what do you want? You want wheat or you want white or do you want
I'll take white.
gluten free?
I like gluten. I'll take white.
Okay. What else do you want on it? Like everything I'm doing is clearly taking too long, you know? And
Yeah,
it's
she's in
just-
the wrong line of work.
Yeah.
See, the last time I was at Mod Pizza, I had the complete opposite type of server. The one that likes to make these like little snippy jokes every time you order something or say something.
Oh, dude, yeah.
It's the worst. I was just ordering a salad. And she was just like, salad coming up for you.
Oh, really?
You want spinach on that? And I was like,
Some
okay.
people could do that well, though. There was a guy I saw a video of, and I guess he was in the UK.
Oh,
and
I
he-
know you're talking about the drive-thru guy.
Yeah, the McDonald's guy.
Oh, that was
cheeky.
good. That was good.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
this?
He loved his job. He
You
had
can
all
do
the
it. Say,
charisma in the world.
I'll have a Fry, you want that extra large, legitly large, or do you want it medium? He goes, I want it large. Oh, cheeky. It's like he was super enthusiastic and over the top. He was really great.
That was a great video.
Yeah.
It was
And I
really
like
cool to
that they
listen to.
pull up to the window, he gives them the food, and then you hear him like go at it again with the next car behind. It's just like, good on him.
I had
But that normally that's like you're killing me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I sat next to
Some
a guy.
people could
I
do
sat
it,
next to a guy in a plane that was the penultimate, which I used the word wrong, but I used the way I use it, so fuck off. He was
The second last.
worst person ever at not getting the hint that I didn't want to talk. Like I was watching a movie with earphones in. He's like talking to me, and I'm like, pull out the earpiece, hit pause, and go like this.
Yeah.
And he goes da 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 da, and I'm like, all right,
Did we have the same
done.
guy?
And I'm
sitting
like,
next to each
okay,
other?
play. And then I go back to watching the movie, and then he just like 2 minutes later he's talking again. It's like, dude was oblivious, just utterly
You gotta
oblivious.
do the like big earphone pull on the.
Or just don't look at him. Just
Yeah.
keep watching the movie.
It's
Well-
crazy.
Yeah, if he's just like poking at you.
Yeah, you can't really ignore a poke.
start batting his hand away. He's like whacking at
And
it.
you know what he wanted to talk to me about, Barbara?
What
Barbara, you know what we're talking
What are we
about?
talking about?
Do you know what he wanted to talk to me about? He wanted to talk to me about flying on airplanes.
What are
That's
the
it.
chances?
Well,
How great it was that we were flying on an airplane.
He knew you had. He knew it was something that you two had in common.
Yeah.
You were both on a plane.
And like I don't have it here, but I flew back international with Gav from Japan, and they give you like all your little like eye mask and your socks that they give you on an
Put your
international flight.
gubbins in?
Yeah, your gubbins. They give you a little bag it goes in, and the bag was like, I was like, oh, this is a cool little bag that I can use for my cord. So I had it, and he recognized it. He goes, did you fly international and American recently? I'm like, yeah. He goes, that's the bag. He goes, did you use points? What'd you do? How'd it work out? What kind of plane did you fly? It's like, holy shit,
Oh
dude.
my God,
You're
go
fucking
away.
killing me. You're killing me.
So what
I'm afraid I'm going to
percentage
get there.
of the
That's going to
flight?
be me at some point.
What percentage of the flight was he going at it?
It was pretty consistent. So I want to say like, just like pure time that he was talking was like, it was like 20% of the flight, but he never went more than like 3 or 4% of the flight without saying something. Like it was just like consistent. Yeah.
If it was a flight long enough, would you have been like, "Hey, I'm not really interested in having a conversation with you."
I just fall asleep.
Like,
That's my defense
okay.
mechanism. I can fall asleep. But I was watching X-Men Apocalypse, and literally the only thing that can make X-Men Apocalypse a worse movie is being constantly interrupted. And like, it's like, oh, I got to go back to my movie. It's like, oh shit, I'm watching X-Men Apocalypse.
You could have been like, sorry, I'm watching a movie."
Yeah.
I
It's too
Barbara,
serious.
I did the whole I had the whole earphone out, looked at him and go, hold on. Pause. What? Like literally that is my interaction with the guy. Like I
Jesus.
could not have been any more
here's where you
shut
went
down.
wrong.
Obvious.
You were probably too friendly at the beginning.
You're exactly right. I make that same mistake with Uber drivers all the time.
Yeah, I always go in for not rude, but very short answers the moment someone tries to talk to me, and they immediately know that I'm not a conversational
See,
type.
this is why you need to learn a different language,
I know
just
a
in
different
case.
language. I know French.
So just start talking French when someone meets you.
I don't need to, normally I'm very happy. You just don't know. It's like I can usually sit next to somebody on a plane, have a nice conversation. Like there was a weird on the way out. Everything was fine to LA because I sat down next to a lady in the exit row. We were just chatting away, and she was in Austin because they were investigating Austin for a new location for their hotel. And it just so happened she manages that process for the hotel chain that we were staying at, and it's the only one in LA. It's the one she works at. I was like, "What are the chances of that?" She was like, "We were like, that's crazy. That I'm going to the hotel where you work."
Is it the Ace Hotel?
It was the Sofitel.
Oh, okay.
Where we were. What's the? Did you stay? You stayed at the same hotel as me?
Oh, you're talking about that trip. Oh, okay.
I was in an awkward position on a plane earlier today, where it was a very full flight, and it was a 787, so it's got 2 aisles and three groups of seats per aisle. So it's like 3, 3, and 3.
What plane is this? You flew this from LA? Oh, you're United.
Yeah. And so I'm in the middle, in an aisle, and this couple comes in, and they get separated. So like the dude is next to me in the middle seat, and the woman he's with is in the next aisle over. She's in the middle seat.
Oh, yeah, you're fucked.
And every now and then, I guess like she wanted to get his attention, so all she would do is lean forward and look at him. And she would just go like,
You have my attention.
and then he wouldn't notice because he'd have his headphones on. He'd be looking straight ahead, and out of the corner of my eye, I'd be like, she's looking at him. What do I do? I don't want to talk. I don't want to touch this guy. I don't want to talk to him. Like, what do I do? Sleep. I just close my eyes. Every time I would close my eyes, they'd finish their interaction like, oh, she was passing him the iPad. Oh, what? Oh, okay, cool. Then like 5 minutes later, her head comes back out like, motherfucker.
You can feel it. You can feel it.
So
right?
at some point she was like, every time I lean forward, this guy falls asleep. And then she wanted to tell her husband about it.
So she leaned forward. It was like, oh my God. It was like, what do you have to say that frequently? Just get through the flight.
Why don't you just swap with one of them?
What do you do?
I don't want a middle seat.
I can't stand stickers and all that stuff.
Fair play.
I had one of the worst. Oh, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, you also told me he was on another flight where somebody voluntarily switched seats in first class with somebody else so they could sit together. Like suggested it.
That's a rarity.
Dude, people in first class don't change seats for anything. If
You did that for me one time.
Well,
Well,
I
like
let you sit in first and I went to coach.
Yeah.
For strangers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and I
People
have
within-
both seen people say no. Like
Oh.
a couple, a married couple will be
Mostly
separated.
people say no.
Well,
and then,
because they have their seat.
right, they ask
They
to
selected that
swap,
seat.
and people will just say no. This couple was separated. They were fine. They were like, all right, you're sitting over there in the window. I'm sitting over here in the aisle. You know, just let me know if you need anything. And the guy who was sitting next door to them was like, oh, do you two want to sit together? I'll switch with you. And I was like, what did I just see?
Yeah.
You never
Never
see
have-
that.
I said no one time to someone.
You
to,
did?
To a couple, yeah. It's because I had an aisle seat. I
impressed.
love the aisle seat because I go to the bathroom a lot, all the time. So I like not disturbing people when I get up to go to the bathroom. So I was in an aisle seat, and there was a woman sitting next to me in the middle seat, and her boyfriend or husband was in a middle seat in a different row.
No, that's different, yeah.
And so she asked me, she's like, hey, would you mind switching with me so I could sit next to my husband? And I said, well, where's your seat? And she points to like another middle seat, and I was like,
No.
I don't really want to sit in
No,
the middle
that
seat.
I get, but you can't get a middle seat in first class, right?
Right,
I've
it's
never
all
seen
window and
Yeah.
aisle.
If you get the upgrade, it's like window and aisle, and that's it. So
No,
I think Barb, I think your thing was
you're in the
totally
right.
justified.
Well, it's
That's
just
also
like,
why I didn't offer
It'd be one
earlier.
thing if it was another window or aisle seat that I was switching for, or even a window seat I would have taken.
I would. It depends. I probably would do it if it was like a married couple and they were separated, or like definitely somebody and their kid.
Yeah.
I would do it. But I wouldn't switch out of an exit row,
Yeah.
like because it's just a better seat.
I
you know?
switched in. I was on the last one I was upgraded on. I was in the aisle and I got to my seat and someone was in my seat, and I was just like, "Is this your seat?" I was pointing at the window. I was like, "Is this your seat?" And she was like, "Oh, am I in the window?" It was so long ago and I didn't even look. And I was like,
Move.
"All right." And she's like, "Do you want the aisle? I can move." And I was like, "No, I don't care." But It's
Yeah.
like
Oh no, I
There are
would have.
some-
I
I
would have
really
been
did-
like, yeah, that's my seat.
I really didn't care. It's such a LA's a 3-hour flight. Who cares? But it's just her thing of like,
See, I would have peed 3 times.
I
on
didn't
that
even
flight.
look. So
No, there's
that's
some
your
people who
problem.
adopt that as a strategy. I see it occasionally on flights where someone just sits in a seat they want, and then like eventually the person comes and goes, "Hey, I want that's my seat. Do you have the right ticket?" And they're like, "No, I'm sitting like 20 rows back."
I hate
It's
that.
like, then why did you
Right.
sit here? They're just like,
Just
why
in
not
case.
take a shot? Who knows? You know,
I've said no in economy before. It was London to Austin, and someone wanted me to switch so they could sit next to their boyfriend. But it was to a middle seat, and I'm on the aisle. And
That's-
it's
Yeah,
on
that's
a
the
10-hour
thing.
flight, and I was
That's
like,
not-
a middle seat's a misery.
Thing.
I was like, I'm not going to switch to a middle seat for 10 hours.
Just
I get
because
it.
you guys didn't
I'm just
book
not.
together.
We-
I was on the worst international flight ever on my way to Germany. It's a 10-hour flight. It's not
What'd you fly?
horrible.
What airline?
American.
Really?
But it was an older plane.
Sucks.
So all the
The American
TVs,
special.
the TV screens were about this big, maybe about like 5 inches or so.
4x3?
Little square. Yeah.
And mine in particular, like the whole row I was in, all the screens were kind of yellow and really fuzzy. And they only had maybe 4 or 5 movies to choose from, 3 of which were X-Men movies. And I just spilled some beer on my dress. I'm okay. And they didn't have this thing where you could just click on a movie and start watching it.
Oh, they were on the.
You click on a movie and it's like, you could join the showing that has started 12 minutes ago, or you could wait 25 minutes for the next viewing. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yep.
Yeah, it's very
What
common.
is
Yeah.
that?
That's
I've
the way it
never
used to be.
seen
It
that
would play through
before.
the movie, and then you'd have like a buffer, a bit period of time where you just watch commercials, and then the movie would start over.
There's also no outlets, so
Mm-hmm.
you couldn't charge your phone or your laptop, even if you wanted to use them on the flight.
That's criminal.
And to top it all off, there was some creepy older dude in the seat next to me who kept fucking staring at me the entire flight.
It literally in the seat next to you.
In like the aisle, so like
Was
across
he
the aisle
German?
from me. Probably.
He was trying to
You
figure out if
actually,
you were
Barbara,
German.
you
probably.
look like you could be German.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, no, a lot
Yeah.
of people tried to speak to me in German while I
Did
was
they
there.
really?
Yeah.
I get
And
it.
your name's Dunkelman.
Dunkelmann.
Dunkelmann.
What was that?
correct.
Dark
Did you like
man?
Germany?
It means dark man. I like Germany a lot. Yeah, it was my first time ever in Europe on that trip to Germany. So that was a really cool experience to be on that
Did you
part of
learn
the
any
world.
Deutsch?
I did. I learned ein Bier bitte, which means one beer,
beer,
please. Or ein große Bier bitte.
One large beer, please.
Or ein Masse Bier bitte,
Don't know that one.
which is a liter of beer.
Yeah.
I learned the important things.
I'll go to Germany with
Like,
you.
Ordering
Yeah.
a liter of beer.
Literally, it's so great in Germany because you could go anywhere and just say beer, and they won't be like, "What kind? What do you want? We got this on draft and this and this." They just bring you a beer, like
great.
whatever their special beer.
Yeah, I mean,
is.
a lot of English pubs will have regular people coming in,
Yeah.
but sometimes you can just walk up into a pub and be like, "I'll have a pint," and they just give you
It's
a pint
great.
of lager.
I love it. I love not having to make a decision. And
2
just
pints.
say beer or wine.
Is that where you get it from, Gavin?
What?
Your hate of making decisions and all the different options?
I think so. I do hate it. Like, I wouldn't ever mod a pizza in Mod Pizza. I just want one of the named ones, even if
they-
it's crap on it that I don't want.
I was also very impressed by the
Like,
German
okay,
fans. Sorry, did I interrupt?
No,
you,
I'll
sir?
get back to it. Go.
I was very impressed by the German fans, and like they know English very, very well. And I guess they have to if they watch Rooster Teeth
Right.
stuff. But like we had a
Does help, like, you limit the
Yeah.
audience, yeah.
We were at an anime convention, and actually, Michael, Lindsay, and I were the first ever American guests at this convention. They usually just have guests from Japan.
Oh, that's
so,
awesome.
so they had an interpreter for Japanese and an interpreter for German. So we were just kind of like not in the loop of anything going on all weekend. Because like we'd be at these ceremonies, and they'd say something in German and translate it to Japanese, and everyone like would clap for one or the other, and we'd just be like,
The Americans going,
They're getting back the old crew
we beat
Yeah,
all
they're-
you motherfuckers in a war.
They're getting back the old crew from the 1940s together.
But we had a Ruby panel, and they had an interpreter there just in case, but we didn't need it because everyone there understood English like pretty much
Yeah,
perfectly.
that's one thing about most of Europe is how amazing everyone is at English.
Yeah.
And I always feel
Japan too.
such shit whenever
Yeah.
I go to one of those countries.
Yeah.
English
And
speakers
people-
are such dickheads.
People are apologizing for their English.
I
It's
know.
like,
I
you
see that-
speak English better than most English people.
I see that on the
ever.
internet all the time where someone will type out this really long comment and at the end be like, "Sorry for the mistakes. English is not my first language." Like, I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like reading
Better
what you
than
wrote,
most.
like it's better that maybe the reason it stood out was it was too good.
Yeah. I didn't know.
Are you a
I don't
writer?
know any German except the phrase I just said. So I went out to go like wander the city a little bit, and we went to this pastry shop, and they had like a bunch of sweet and savory ones, and I was trying to say that I wanted a sweet pastry, but I don't know any German, so I'm just pointing at things, going, and like rubbing my stomach like a fucking idiot.
Yep.
And the German dude's probably like, "What do you want?
What do you
love?
want?"
And they're all
Yeah.
just like, and I'm just like,
How were they?
ach, ein, ach, ach.
It's like when you go to France, you can get about 3 words of French out, and like they
Stop.
appreciate it, but they don't want to fucking hear it at the same time. If you walk up to them and try to immediately just start speaking English to someone in France without asking them first if they speak English, they get very upset with you. They're like, because you just walk up and just start yakking at them in English. If you ask them, "Do you speak English?" They say yes.
I like-
They'll answer your question. If you try to speak to them in French, they at least appreciate it, but then they're like, "Oh, you fuck, get away with that French of yours."
A lot of
Oh,
English
you
people
fuck.
just say French words, but just pronounced Englishly, like Gemma Pell. Just like saying
Oh,
it. No,
God.
it's like, that
Gemma
must sound so bad.
It was
Je ne parle pas français.
there's a lot of stuff in the
Bon
Amazing,
anniversaire.
Amazing Race that doesn't make it in because they obviously shoot a lot of footage. But one of the things that happened was we ended up in France and we were going through.
They
we
cut
were,
that out?
We were in the. They didn't cut the country out. That we were actually in the French-speaking part of Switzerland, and then we were in France after that. And so I walked up to somebody, and I said, "I speak just a little bit of French. Do you speak English?" And they said yes. And I said, "Great, because I only speak a little bit of French." And I said it in French. And they were like, "Well, your accent is wonderful." And I was like, "Thank you very much." And Ashley's like, "We're in a race." So they did an interview with us about that. I go, I don't care if it's, a race for $1 million and the finish line is like literally right there. If a French person compliments your accent, you stop and say thank you.
Yeah.
Because they do not do that often at all.
I got something else I want to read here.
Do it.
I want to remind everyone this episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast is also brought to you by for sponsoring this episode of the podcast and our new set.
Our new podcast.
Our new podcast
It's
set.
beautiful.
You can build it beautiful like our set.
Hey, we've built a beautiful podcast.
Yes.
I really am very impressed with what
And
they've
a
done.
beautiful
I
family.
wanted to go back for a second and complain about and make another complaint about Mod Pizza.
Wow, we're fucking hammering.
I'm sorry I brought it up now.
When they first opened, you know, they like you mentioned, they have special pizzas like the Jimmy or whatever.
There is no Jimmy.
There's no
People
Jimmy.
go and order the Jimmy.
I didn't want to name one of their real pizzas.
When they first opened,
Why not?
they had a pizza named the Gus.
Oh.
And when you go to order, the first thing they ask you is, "What's your name?"
Oh no.
I said, "Gus." Like, Gus. What are you gonna have? Are you gonna get the Gus? Every fucking time.
Yeah.
Every fucking time.
What was on the Gus?
I started lying. I started saying my name was other things because I didn't want them to ask me if I wanted the Gus.
That's a
And
weird
they'd be
name.
like, "Do you want the other things?"
It was like I think it was like a white sauce pizza
What's
with
your name?
asparagus.
My name's Pepperoni.
My name is gluten free.
Well, oh,
My
I
name
spilled all over
is
myself.
spinach salad.
So what I want to point out a couple things. First of all, there's a contest going on right now that I knew nothing about, which is we're re-envisioning the Rooster Teeth logo
Just for funsies.
just for fun. I'm actually not sure. We'll talk about it later. I'm not sure that that's legal for our trademark purposes.
Well,
I was
that
wondering
was
about that too.
that was all Andrew Watts' idea, so you could throw him under. or I
Oh,
just
really?
threw him
Andrew
under
Watts,
the-
who's like business. Well, okay, we'll talk about it later.
Well, the one that we have up now is created by Becca.
They're
so.
very cute. They're very cute. Oh, Becca did that one? With the Rooster Teeth? That's
Hello,
cute.
Rooster Teeth.
And that's the winner of week 1 of 1, by the sounds of it.
But I want to point something out, and I realized by talking about it, I'm kind of
Undefeated.
by kind of talking about it, I kind of ruined the point of not talking about it. But there are times in the past where we said, hey, there's this thing going on, and if you guys could go out there and vote for it or contribute to it or something like that, it would really help us out right now. And we don't do this very often, but you know, this is the kind of thing we just like.
Why are you making us sound so like?
We would like to do that.
We don't do this very.
That is our voice. Because I always like we
We're
do
not-
feel bad when we ask people to do stuff.
Yeah.
We do.
I know
It's
where
like-
you're coming from, totally.
Yeah, but when we ask people to do it, then they're going, "What are you talking about?" Every time they say that, they're asking us to do something. It's well, we don't mention the times we're not asking you to do something, but there actually is something going on right now where there's a vote for Rooster Teeth for Stream User of the Year, and we're actively just not.
Channel of the
This will
year?
probably be the only time you hear me mention. Maybe we're going to do like a tweet about it or something, one tweet, but. This is a case where we've decided just not to do one of those big campaigns and ask people to vote and vote.
It's
and
one of those
vote.
things where, in order to win that one, you really have to go all out.
You gotta go
And it would
every
be
day,
non-stop,
and it's
people
just
will be
like-
sick of it.
You know, and it's like, I mean, there's years where it's like, hey, we're trying to do things that we need a little bit more media attention for. We're not really doing anything like that right now. You know, the only reason we talked about it, because we do have debates about this kind of stuff. Do we want to ask the audience to do this? But like Extra Life is coming up, you know what I mean? And we're going to be, I mean, that's something where we ask people to contribute, like reach into their pocket and contribute money. But it goes to such a great cause. And this is like, Rooster Teeth had a phenomenal year. I mean, 2016's been crazy. And like not only for the company itself, but like everybody personally is like doing all this amazing stuff.
Yeah, this has probably been my best year ever.
It's been my best year, yeah. It's like I was trying to go back and look at everything in 2016. It's like, what am I going to do next year? You know what I mean? It's crazy. So
Run for president.
Yeah,
You probably have to try dudes.
I do think like that's why a lot of famous actors go gay, because it's like,
We want to talk about it on Always Open?
why not?
Yeah.
You've had so many different women. Eventually, like, okay, let's go the other way.
Is that a thing, though, going gay? Surely you're just going bi a little.
I think I'm one of those people that believe that everybody's a little bit bi.
What's that scale called?
Kinsey scale?
Kinsey scale?
Is it?
No.
That's a sexual scale, right? Or something?
It's the like how like on what level of bisexual or gay or straight you are.
Yeah,
I just think of it as how many
Which is,
drinks would
you
I have
know,
to have.
probably bullshit, but
Is that
it's
what you do? How
something
many
to have.
drinks would it take? Was it Patrick who says he knows he's really drunk when he's straight? That's when he was that Patrick.
I don't know. Is that something you said, Pat?
No,
No,
not this Patrick.
Talking about
Oh.
Pat Matt.
Matthews?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said that on Always Open, right?
He said a lot of stuff on Always Open. There's something about cats there that I don't want to bring up again.
What did he do to a cat?
You should just watch the episode.
Was he mean to a cat?
No.
No, he would have been very loving to a cat.
Oh, very loving.
Wink.
Like too loving.
Holy cow.
That's still being mean to a cat.
It is.
The Gus pizza is white sauce, garlic, mozzarella, Canadian bacon, and roasted asparagus.
I hate it when the sauce is the color.
Thank you, Susan Turpin,
White
for
sauce.
tweeting me that.
What does that mean?
Well, like if I was like, hey, this thing's got blue sauce on it, wouldn't you want to know what was blue? What's blue?
I
What's
always
white?
feel like that when they say fish. It's like there's a lot of different fish.
They all taste.
Nah,
can't
but with
just say
fish,
fish.
with fish, you get the gist. You know you're eating fish. So
Well,
this tastes
salmon
like
and
fish.
whitefish
Sauce.
are very different. Like salmon
Yeah.
and
But what is
If
white
I ordered
sauce?
fish
Is it,
tacos and it was salmon in there with some coleslaw, I'd be like, gross.
But what if it was ahi tuna?
Also, tilapia's not real fish. Ahi tuna is so good.
So good. Do you remember that ahi tuna burger at Little Woodrow's we used to get all the time?
Yeah. Oh man, I'd forgotten about that. Why'd you remind me about that?
Or the one at Mama Foods?
Is that place still open?
We were just talking about your eating
Yeah.
tuna at Mama Foo's.
Yeah.
They
They made fun of me because
tuna.
we went to a steak place to eat, a place they love to eat, and
You love it too. We're throwing us under
Was
the bus
that
with
after
this.
the sausage place was closed?
I got
Yes,
the
it
sea
was.
bass.
Okay.
I got the sea bass.
Trying to be healthy.
We were walking on our way to go eat Indian food, which would be a big thing for Gavin and I because no one around us will eat Indian food.
Here's the
after our
issue.
Indian trip.
Here's the issue. American Indian food is bad.
Ugh.
British Indian food is good. Indian food, phenomenal.
We ate like at this nowhere, like nothing special restaurant in India. It was the best meal I've ever had in my life.
But it was closer to the British Indian than the American Indian. And I'm not talking about American
Like Navajo.
native people. It's very confusing, isn't it?
It is very confusing.
Yeah.
Just
Indian-
stop calling natives Indians.
Yeah, it's dumb.
It's
dumb.
Indian food in the UK is so good.
What's Native American food?
It's like
don't know.
flatbread, jerky.
Native
I don't know.
American food.
I would imagine it's corn,
wild buffalo?
maize, flatbread, like Navajo bread I've had before. You ever go to Z Tejas here in Austin?
No.
They have Navajo food there. Like a corn
it
salsa
good?
with stuff. I'm not a fan, I have to admit. I'm not a fan.
You know where I haven't been in a while? Fogo de Ch&atilde.
You try and drop a hint?
Yeah.
You want to go to Fogo?
Yeah.
Fogo.
We should do
We'll go right
a
after this?
new podcast set celebration.
I'll go. I'll go right after this. I'll go to Fogo.
There's no way they're going to be open.
What? It's 9 o'clock after this ends.
By the time
Well,
we
we
get done,
gotta
we're going to
do
do post show and
post-show.
They're
everything.
going to get all that sweet after debate.
Why don't we
business.
They close at 10.
Why don't we do post show from
Barb,
Fogo?
we could load up with meat by
Fogo
10.
post show.
Fogo post.
Fogo post show.
I don't know if we won't get done in time.
So did we
to
not
get
do
over
the
there.
idea that you had?
Yeah, I like that idea a lot because for the post show today.
Fogo post show?
We didn't do it.
No.
What do you mean we didn't do it?
We could still do it.
Yes, we did do it. It's a post show, dummy.
But you couldn't actually do your idea afterwards.
What?
Why?
Oh no, you could. I'm thinking.
What are you doing to me?
I was thinking of the other set for some reason.
Gavin and I would get around each other. We think very much alike, but then we also get really stupid. So when our brains don't sync up, it's like very confusing to me. Really confusing. A lot
like-
of times I just figure that I'm wrong.
It's like trying to watch 2 movies at once.
It's like trying to watch 2 movies at
I
once.
think I could do it.
You brought
I
it
think I
back
could
around.
do it.
The hard part would be the audio. That's the
Well,
hardest
I
part.
have a
I'd like to
question.
give it a shot.
Are
But
you
you can
only-
listen to 2 things at once.
Are you only seeing half the movie then, or do you actually like get the full movie? It's just like.
You would have to see half. That's why I made
Things
the
are
joke about the
just-
evens or the odds. Like you see the even frames or the odd
But
frames.
why can't it just be like frame break, and in the break you put a frame from the other movie?
You
and
could
then,
do that, but then you're watching both movies. Then you're doubling the
And
length.
then each movie will be running at 50% speed.
What?
Would
it's
it not?
like- yeah, it
Is
would.
that- yeah.
So then it's like let's say you're watching 2 2-hour movies. If you did each frame intercut, you're watching both movies, so it's a total of 4 hours.
Yeah.
So it's like that's why you need to cut every other frame out.
Barbara's face right now. She gets it.
Can you imagine how long Titanic would be if you did it that way?
It'll be twice as long.
It'd be like 4 years.
It's not hard to figure out.
The joke is it's a very long
Well,
movie.
Titanic
to
is
me.
what,
Can
3
you imagine
hours?
that?
What?
Can you imagine? Gus,
Can
can you even imagine how much longer it would be?
How long would this podcast be?
It would be twice long. I listen. I want to say, I'm very happy, pleased that the podcast reveal was pulled off in the way that it was.
You guys were very cynical about it working.
Yes. No, we were
Gavin
being
was.
realistic, not pessimistic.
I was cynical.
You were being pessimistic and cynical. Yes, like you always.
The
are.
switch
Got to
from
plan
the switch
for the worst.
from a prepared thing to a live thing.
Very
It's
different.
just
Well, like, do you remember how many weeks we just didn't have the intro at the beginning of the podcast? I was thinking, what if like the layers muted or something?
right.
I don't know. I don't know how that
And to
works.
be fair, the live broadcast was the only time it worked right.
Yeah, we did.
We did try to rehearse it a couple times, and it just like it either stopped in the middle or something
The
happened.
pre-show was late. Normally we do a 15-minute pre-show before
Correct.
the podcast started. The pre-show was late today because the video file just stopped playing partway through.
Pull the switcheroo.
There you go. That's why it was justified.
A
And
lot of people think that I lost $100 to you too.
Oh, that was a lie. You can give me $100 though. Barbara was actually worried. She thought I was going to try to take $100 from her
Yeah.
when we were doing that.
Yeah, I don't have $100.
There's some people online that are asking if because they're first members, and this is a sponsors only broadcast.
First members only.
First members only. I still say sponsors. It doesn't bother me. Can they tweet photos of the set? Yes, you can do that. You can absolutely do that.
We also already tweeted a photo of the set.
Oh, did we? Mm-hmm. Okay. So yes, you can absolutely do that. One of the things I like about for first members, what can happen is they get like inside information, and actually, stuff like what's in the first vlog and talking about the green light process. I actually would like it if people would go out and communicate that to other people. I mean, it's information that we provide to our first members, but I think it would actually be cool if other people knew it. And it's like I like for when other people are able to explain it to other people.
This is the reason you're first.
That's right.
So you could brag to other people about being first to something.
That's why it's the name.
Yeah.
But don't be dicks. Don't spoil cool shows like Crunch Time or Day 5.
Which, by the way, is an amazing show.
Such a good show, right?
Yeah.
Episode 4, I think, is what it really...
I think I had seen...
That's the other great part of 2016. That show's so different than everything else about the way we approach it in production and the way we cast it and everything
Day 5
else.
Too.
Yeah.
Day 5 and Crunch Time.
I had seen the first 4 episodes of Crunch Time before the visual effects were done. Back in April or something. I'd seen the first 4. I was like, oh, this is really good. And then I hadn't seen anything again until it launched. And it was like, oh, shit. Then I'd then here internally, it's like I watched everything.
I was the same way. I'd only seen raw footage basically in order, but without any of the intro or any of the visual effects.
The version I saw just said intro credits.
Yeah.
Here.
The music in that show is probably one of my favorite pieces. I love the intro song and just all the sounds. Fun fact about Crunch Time, Gus and I are actually in a scene together.
Sex scene?
No, I think it's episode 1, right? Where you're a bartender?
Yeah, it's episode 1.
Yeah.
I'm in there too, but you can't see me at all. And the guys who were writing and directing the show felt bad. They're like, we wanted to give you a better cameo, so we'll get you in for this thing for a different episode. So I'm going to show up in a different episode where you could actually see me and hear me.
Oh, did you?
She gets her kit off.
Talk to you about it after
What's
this.
a kit? What's a kit?
Clothes.
Oh, kits are clothes?
Yeah.
She gets her kit off.
Get your kit off, love.
Oh,
Sorry, that's a lie, but it's promotion.
I'm completely naked in this episode.
Yeah, you when in that scene where you can see me out of focus as the bartender.
Yeah.
You are to my right, immediately to my right.
You can see this blonde, blurry figure.
Yeah, you're just kind of back there, out of focus.
And it's funny because when they emailed us about it, they're like, we have some special cameos for you guys. You're going to be bartenders. And I was like, cool. And then I saw the shot and I'm like, not even in the shot.
It was weird because I didn't know what to do and I didn't want to fuck with the bar. So it's like there was one glass I kept cleaning over and over. It's like I would pick it up, clean it, put it here, then under the bar, put it back on the left side, then pick it up and clean it.
There's so much action that goes on in background that I don't think a lot of people realize. I had to do the same motions with the same 3 or 4 people in that scene. They would come up, they would talk to me and order a drink. I would make it for them and put it on the table and clean something else. And I had to do the same thing over and over, but you don't see any of that
at approximately the same time every time. That way it's not.
And there's probably 4 or 5 other groups who are doing the same motions.
I think my one came out now. Am I
yeah,
in 4?
your episode came out. You're in 4.
Mine was interesting because I was I mainly went to film slow-mo puppies, which are in the first episode.
Right.
And then I knew I was going to be in a bit, but I hadn't received any sort of script.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was on the set, and I still hadn't seen anything. And Andrew Disney was like, "Oh, just be really excited about you just did kung fu and you won." I was like, "Oh, there's no lines," and he's like, "No, just do whatever." So I was like, "Oh, sweet." I just went a little bit apeshit for a few minutes, and he was like, "Thank you very much, you're done."
I'm very excited because I'm technically in a scene with an actor that I've been watching for a long time. I used to watch the show Desperate Housewives, and I was in a scene with someone who was on that show.
Which guy?
Am I allowed to say who it was?
I wouldn't say yet.
Okay.
I think he's in the trailers, though. He's in the trailers. You can say it.
Mark Moses.
Mark Moses, yeah, he was great.
Though he has white hair.
Yeah, he was in Mad Men, too.
Mad Men, and he played Paul Young on Desperate Housewives.
Oh, right. I do know
he played
okay, yeah,
Duck
yeah.
in Mad Men.
He was the dad of Zach.
Yeah, Zach Young in Desperate Housewives.
Yeah, I watched that show.
It's good.
Back in the day.
I love that show.
So we're almost out of time.
Also, Not Another Teen Movie is a movie I like, and Sam Levine was in that.
He was. Forgot about that. Good guy.
How would you feel if we ended our first day on the new podcast set with a round of Gavin or Google?
Oh, yeah,
Google
let's
or
do
Gavin.
that.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
All right. You want to sing the theme song?
Because
Me?
you
Gavin
didn't tell
or
them about it.
Google or Gavin? Which one said it? Let's find out. Hey.
I'm feeling lucky.
All right. Here is the way that you play Gavin or Google. I took a 2 to 4 word phrase and I typed it into the search engine Google. I gave that same 2 to 4 word phrase to the young Mr. Gavin Free. I then
Not so
saw
young anymore.
the most popular autocompletes on
28.
Google, selected one, and then I got an autocomplete from Gavin Free, and we're going to find out which one is more ridiculous, which one said it, Gavin or Google.
Let's
Barbara
find out.
and
thought you
Gus,
were
what is
gonna
our
say-
record? What is our record here?
Oh, I don't know.
I think
I
I'm
think Barbara's ahead by 1.
I might be ahead by 1.
Damn.
She's ahead by 1 match. I
Someone
believe.
break out the spreadsheet.
I know Gavin pretty
Bum,
well.
bum, bum. All right. So the first phrase that I typed into Google and also gave to Mr. Gavin Free was, "Why doesn't?"
You gave some
Why
very
doesn't?
openly vague
did.
ones this
This
time.
is a very open
Why
one.
doesn't?
Why
The
doesn't?
first autocomplete was, "Why doesn't the moon have a name?" Why doesn't the moon have a name?
Okay.
The other was, "Why doesn't my poo float?" Why doesn't my poo float? Barbara,
Damn.
since you have the lead, I will allow you to go first. Which one was Google and which one was Gavin?
I'm gonna say
Why doesn't the moon have a name?
I'm gonna say Gavin was the moon.
Gavin was the moon and Google was
Google
the poo.
was the poo.
I think the opposite.
You think the opposite?
Yeah, I think Gavin's more shit focused.
What are you on about?
Point goes to Barbara Dunkelman.
Oh,
Gavin, what do you mean? Why doesn't the moon have a name?
Yeah.
Well, because other planets have moons, but they all have names. Our moon's just called Moon.
Yeah, just
It's-
moon.
Wait,
No,
it doesn't
our moon-
have a name?
All the other moons have.
our moon is the moon, like capital M. All the other planets are moon, lowercase m.
So the moon is its name.
Right.
So
Like
our
there's
moon,
other Earths, but we're.
our moon is called Moon.
Yes. The
Our moon is called the Moon.
It might
But
be
like-
it might be called Luna. Right?
La Luna.
Like the sun is called Sol. If I had to name the moon, I would say the moon's name was Luna. I would say the same thing.
Let's look it up. Moon.
Shout out
It's a
to
lunar
Miles.
cycle.
Yeah, because lunar. You know, lunatics. The etymology of that word is they thought the moon made people crazy. That's what,
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what lunatic
That's
comes from.
cool.
That's
The
supposed to be
usual
a-
English proper name for Earth's natural satellite is the moon, capital M.
That's dumb.
It's dumb.
All right,
I mean,
moving on.
if all the other ones are referred to as satellites, I mean, they are.
or
but
they all have
call-
names, like Io.
Yeah, we always call
Phobos.
them. We always call them like the moon of Mars. You know,
You know,
Phobos.
we found out a really interesting fact on this trip. We just looked it up. How many moons do you think Jupiter has?
Oh, right.
I
12.
right. I was going to guess like 10, 12. It's like, what? What'd you say it was?
I think I guessed 17, but I looked it up and it was like over 60.
Yeah. 64 moons or something, somebody said.
I mean, Jupiter's fucking huge.
it is fucking huge.
Fucking
I bet from the outside
huge,
looking in, I
fuck.
bet a bunch of our planets look like Jupiter's moons.
Yeah.
I mean, if you looked at our solar system, it looked like the sun and Jupiter, and that's it. Pretty
Yeah,
much
we're
from
just
the
like,
outside.
hello.
Yeah. And then meanwhile, there's aliens guessing what our planet's like. Oh my God, they have water that floats in the air. I guess we do. It's called clouds. Anyway, I'll move on.
Jupiter has at least 67.
67. Holy
67
shit.
moons.
At least
You were wrong.
Like we don't know.
Nope.
Who said that?
How do we not know?
I think there's some you
Someone
can't
said
see.
64.
They're like shy.
Bollocks.
Okay, bring it on.
The next phrase that I entered into Google and gave to Mr. Gavin Free was, "What would happen if?" What happen if?
What?
The first answer I got back was, "What would happen if you never cut off the umbilical cord from a baby?" What would happen if you never cut off the umbilical cord from a baby? The other was, what would happen if you hired 2 private investigators to follow each other? Gus, I'll let you go first this time.
Man, I could go either way on this.
Both, Gavin. Is that an answer?
So, I'm gonna say that the umbilical cord is Gavin.
Barbara?
I'm going to say the opposite. I'm going to say the private investigators is Gavin.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a tie.
Oh,
Point
shit.
to Gus.
I thought that private investigator one that Google came up with is genius. And can we do that and make a video?
Because I selected that one because it seemed like to me like such a Gavin thing to
Yeah,
come
that's
up
The
with.
why
only
I
reason I
picked
went
that
with
one.
umbilical cord is because Gavin talked about babies earlier in this podcast.
Yeah, true.
If you had not
True.
mentioned a baby earlier,
Yeah, babies
I
on
would
the
have probably
brain.
gone
Brain.
private investigator.
May I also say that Gavin provided me with a couple of alternates in case it was too close to the Google one. And for what would happen if, it would say, what would happen if you boiled an egg for a week? And the other was,
Jeez.
what would happen
It would
if
hatch. No,
I
just kidding.
never opened my mouth? Ever. I'm curious about that one. What did you think? It would shut up?
Yeah,
It
like
would
it was
probably,
seal
like-
closed.
You'd probably get like really bad breath.
But a baby with the umbilical cord attached and like dried out, like jerky, would be It falls off eventually, right?
I don't know.
Well, I assume like
It does.
all the placenta and stuff is going to come out, and you're just going to be.
Carried around.
It
in a
becomes
sack.
an extreme outie, is what it becomes.
Well, they don't cut like flush with the body. They cut off the umbilical cord and then they tie it close. That dries up and then it falls off. It's pretty gross.
So what you have is just the knot.
You have the knot hanging out and then the knot dries
So some
up.
people the knot is tied this way, and some people it's tied the other way.
And it's got a clamp on it too. And if that comes undone, you got a big problem in your hands.
Really?
Why?
Well, it's bleed to death.
It's like blood
It's
comes out.
tied into its bloodstream. Yeah. So.
I'm weird about belly buttons. Let's stop this.
Are you weird about belly buttons?
Yeah.
They put this like blue stuff on it too that dries it out faster and like turns.
whenever someone sticks their finger
Turns
in my
it to
belly
jerky?
button, yeah.
How often does that happen?
A lot with Aaron.
Does he?
Actually, yeah.
What's you just
He
walking
knows
by?
He knows it bothers me.
He just fingers your belly button.
He tries to, and then I like
Listen.
fucking run out the door.
That's part of listen. When you're a boyfriend, you have
You know
you
the
get full
spots.
access.
Yeah.
To Like Ashley will not walk up a flight of stairs in front of me. She always has to walk behind me.
so she could touch your butt.
No, it's the opposite. So I'm not just like grabbing at her butt the
Oh.
entire way up a flight of stairs.
Like behind her, you just turn into a lobster. You're just like, give it.
Yeah, if she's like 2 stairs in front of me, it's a bad.
Just say you're helping her up the stairs.
I am. I do. I'll even push.
Yeah.
Like I'm helping.
Yeah.
I'm well ahead of you. I've tried every excuse. Now she just walks behind me.
I like that it's a tie. This is exciting. Now.
It's exciting.
Building the drama.
Sure.
We've gotten exciting.
I did it on
Oh man, the
purpose.
new iPhone. I hate this like sketching thing. I'm sending you a stupid sketch, Gavin, because I just don't want to erase it. All right, the next thing that I entered into Google search engine and to Gavin Free's brain is the simple phrase, "Are rhinos?"
Are rhinos.
Great.
Though I'm talking about the rhinoceros here. Are rhinos?
Are rhinos?
First one I got back. Are rhinos born horn first? And the other was, are rhinos just obese unicorns? I don't know who to make go first here. Barbara, I think it's your turn to go first.
It is.
Because you didn't win the last round. That's what I did to Gus.
Can you say them again?
Are rhinos born
Horn first, and then are rhinos
just
just
obese
obese unicorns? Just fat unicorns.
God, this one's hard.
It's a tough one. There's another one I could see going either
Yeah.
way.
I'm sorry, there was a time limit.
Okay,
Tick,
I'm gonna
tick,
say
tick,
that
tick,
Gavin
tick.
said horns first.
What are you gonna say?
I'll go with obese unicorns.
Gavin says obese unicorns.
Yeah.
Barbara has extended her lead now to 2 wins. She gets the final point. Gavin wanted to know if rhinos were born horn first, and Google was they thought they were just obese unicorns.
Do they have a horn when they're born?
It's probably just like a little
Probably
No.
a nubbin,
like tiny,
like a
yeah.
tooth
It's like a
or something.
and then it grows.
So thank God, by the way, and thanks to Gavin for reminding me we were going to play Gavin or Google tonight because it slipped my mind, and I would have hated to have teased that we were going to play it and then not play it. Especially, I feel like with our new podcast set,
Good way to break it in.
we have a commitment to our audience to do the right thing.
Yeah.
It's a fresh start for everybody. I feel like
Yep.
And
What
clean
are you
slate.
imitating right now? Are you
with my hands are up.
Yeah. What are you doing?
No, my clean slate.
and this set is actually for 1 week only. Next week we'll have a different set,
Back
All
to
right.
the old one.
an even newer one. That's a lie.
Anything you guys
I'm
want to talk
lying.
about else?
Always open premieres for the public this week. It's out of pilot episodes officially. So tune in Wednesday night at 10:30 if you're a first member, and Thursday night at 10:30 p.m. if you are not a first member on YouTube or roosterteeth.com.
I'm good. I think it's about time to
That's it.
wrap up.
And on the circle back, which we normally do a half an hour before the end of the podcast, circle back tonight, there's not really a lot of stuff people are asking why we didn't finish, except for why didn't Bernie finish telling us how to vote for the stream meetings? Because I was literally I wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
That was the whole point of that conversation. So
You could figure it out.
there'll
if
be
you really
a
want to
tweet
do.
about it eventually, and if you do it, we'll definitely appreciate you. But it's one of the things we're not going to put it all over videos, and we're not going to be bugging you this year about that. But we reserve the right to bug you about it in the future.
We'll bug you about other stuff.
When it's important, yeah. We'll be bugging. Hopefully you guys will come to Extra Life, and you won't see that as bugging you, but as something cool that we all do together every year.
So thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you guys next week on our other new set.
Yeah, we're getting a new set next week.
Love you.
Love.
Excited about it.